Well, we are halfway through the Australian Surf Lifesaving Championships here at Maroochydore on Queensland's Sunshine Coast, and the action is only get hotter and the races even bigger as we progress towards Sunday's finals day. Good morning and welcome to day 3 of the Aussies. My name is Sam Jordan from Redhead Surf Lifesaving Club, sitting alongside Courtney Hancock from Surfers Paradise. Court, it is a huge day of finals here today.
It certainly is. It's so exciting. We've still got Swell as well, so that's definitely still around. But as we were looking, Sam, before at the program, there's so many finals on today.
Yeah, that's right. There is a revised program today. We will have finals of the Open Mixed Double Ski Races, the Open Female Double Skis, as well as board and ski relay. So it is going to be a huge Friday of racing here today at Maroochydore Beach. And the conditions have turned on as well. Let's head down to the beach where Christy's standing by. How is the beach looking this morning?
Yes, thanks, Sam and Court. It's beautiful down here. The sun has come back for the sunny Sunshine Coast Friday, day 3 of the Aussies. Really not much wind down here at the moment. And as you mentioned, the surf has dropped, but still plenty of waves on offer for our double ski finals that we'll get into this morning. So I think we'll still see a lot of action out there.
Christy, over the past couple of days, it has been quite tricky to try and pick a line to get out the back. Is there a bit more even opportunity for athletes today? Can you plot a path to try and get out without getting whacked by one of those sets?
Yeah, certainly this morning the break is looking a lot more even. We don't have a lot of that washing machine water, a lot of those flash rips, so it really is perfectly beautiful conditions out here. I'm not sure if that's how we'll see it remain for the rest of the day. We have seen the wind pick up in the last few days around sort of midday, and obviously with that tide movement we do see the conditions change, but at the moment it is looking like it's set for really fast, fair, even racing out there.
And just looking around, I guess, with the competitors, Christy, is anyone looking a bit sore and tired? I mean, they've been racing. It's been a couple of big days. And as we were talking about before, just the finals that they've got, it's a jam-packed full day.
Surprisingly not, Courts. No, there's still an amazing energy down here on the beach. We can see just a lot of the double skis getting lined up and ready, a few of those last-minute adjustments to make sure all of the leg lengths are correct. But no, I don't see any signs of anyone slowing up yet. So everyone's obviously done their recovery right. And when it's finals day and medals on offer, yeah, I think there's just a way to get that extra energy that you need.
Thank you very much, Christy. We will be checking back in with you shortly down on the sand. It is going to be really interesting to see how those conditions do play out today, Courtney. It's a little bit smaller. There's a longer gap between sets than what we have seen over the past couple of days. And unlike this time yesterday morning where there were quite a lot of runs on offer coming back from the Cairns, there actually is a bit of hard work today. We are going to see the mixed double ski semi-finals and then finals first up this morning. And then it's the Open Ironman semi-finals as well. That's going to make racing interesting in that there isn't as much chance to have a break and relax as we have seen in the past couple of days.
Yeah, it's certainly just on today. It's go, go, go. So, yeah, as Christy said before, a lot of recovery in between those races. And mixed doubles straight up, they are a very hard event. There's so much energy output in these rounds. So semi straight to final. And then, as you said before, Sam, going into that Open Ironman semi. I spoke to a few of the Ironman yesterday and they were incredibly nervous, and that's for the Ironman. We just want to get that one out of the way. You want to book your ticket into that final. The girls have done, and the boys, yeah, certainly it's going to be very, very hot. They were moving very fast yesterday.
Yeah, that's right. So we are kicking things off with the mixed double ski semi-finals. That is semi-final number 1 that is on the line in the blue and white area, starting to get ready. Harry Torrens from Newport on screen. He was a surprising casualty to go out in the first round of the Open single ski yesterday. A really strong paddler for Newport. We're catching a glimpse of the conditions there, so that's what we are looking at today. That back bank isn't breaking as wide. There are a lot of holes in that back bank in terms of catching waves. I had a little paddle out there this morning, and I was surprised that you have to work a lot harder on your way back in. A lot of swell lines that were standing up, you weren't guaranteed to ride them all the way to shore. That's a really good shot of what we're working with today there as well, in terms of just seeing those conditions being that little bit more inconsistent. Although in saying that, I'm sure the officials are a little bit more happy with that today as well, because there is still a nice fun wave on offer and for everyone to go and catch, but it is a little bit more predictable in trying to line these races up and get everyone around the Cairns safely.
Yeah, absolutely. Just saw on screen that semi-final, number one, getting ready to go and get into things. And yeah, it's I think these Aussies, it's been really exciting that all the competitors have had every different conditions out there. And that's why we train so hard and train every single day, multiple beaches. And you go to the creek, you go to the surf, because you need to be good in everything. And we talk about, I guess Surf Lifesavers being good at short distance and long distance, but it's not only that, it's also being good in skills and rough big surf and wind like we've had, but also, as we see on screen right now, the beautiful Sunshine Coast. Just had to add that in because it is an incredible it is an incredible part of the world, but to also be really good in calm conditions and have the technique, your stroke nice and smooth to every time you take a stroke to pull that water and, hopefully be stronger than the person next to you. But yeah, on screen, those drone shots, I love seeing them.
And a really good shot to explain what we're talking about there. Now, these double ski races first up this morning, they're going to catch anything. But when we do get to those iron races, there are really deep holes in the bank in kind of unexpected places as well. There's one in the center of the screen there, surrounded by whitewash. If you kind of find yourself in a hole like that when you're trying to swim back in, that could be the difference between, catching up a few spots on a body wave or falling further behind. So there's going to be plenty of interested onlookers today. I feel it's a lot trickier to read than maybe it has been the past couple of days, where it was a case of just try and get out the back and try and get back in.
Yeah, I totally agree with you, Sam. Just looking at that now, it really gave you that good shot of what the athletes have in front of them for today. But yeah, the last few days you've seen the rips, and the flash rips have been really obvious, and the water moving out really fast. You came down the bench and went, that's exactly where I'm going to jump into. But today, certainly being this first semi-final number one, it's going to be, I think it's an advantage for them to get out there and before they make that final, really suss out what the area is doing. But just looking before, there's a lot of gap between each wave. The last couple of days it's been one wave, then 3 seconds, another one. So competitors rolling some of them didn't have the opportunity to get back on their ski. And so that's when you see competitors doing that. That means the waves are really back to back. But today they're not back to back. There is a fair bit of a gap. So yes, the body surfing, there's not as much on offer. It's not as consistent. So certainly when we see the Ironman straight up in that semi, you want to get a body surfing wave today.
And we do expect that wind to be a little bit more favourable in terms of being a little bit lighter and blowing for the most part offshore today, or at least cross shore like we are seeing at the moment, and that is making it smooth out the back. It is really smooth. There is not a lot in terms of runs, unless you do work hard for it as well. So we're beginning the action today with the open mixed doubles semi-finals. That will be followed by the final. Then the female paddlers will be going for their double skis. We will have those open Ironman semi-finals. And then in the men's area today, we are going to see both ski and board relay finals. Board relays are originally scheduled to be tomorrow, but they've been brought forward. In the female area, we do have those ski relay finals later on this afternoon as well. But for now, this is semi-final number one of the open mixed double, and we have Kurrawa Team A of Goodwin and Mole, Burleigh Heads Team D of Carl and Miller, Newport Team E, Torrens and Torrens, the brother and sister, Allura Team A of Neil and Murray, Burleigh Heads Mowbray Park Team C, which is Regan and Tame, Lockie Tame winning the men's double, Northcliffe Team D, Norton and Mackenzie, Northcliffe Team B of Eakins and Rumford, Burleigh Heads Mowbray Park Team B of Hardstaff and Mitchell, Manly Team C, Fay and Newton, North Bondi Team A of Walker and Wise, Trigg Island C, Harris and Wood, Southport A, Botha and Cedarblad, Maroochydore Team A of the Woodhouse and Woodhouse combination, Burleigh Heads Team A, McCabe and Miskell, Newport C, Armstrong and Harrison, and Alexandra Headland Team B of Campbell and Kelly. That is a lot of star power in this first semi-final. I mentioned Lachlan Tame and Pete Mitchell. They won the men's double ski together on the opening day of action. They're now split and in their mixed double combinations. It's a really strong semi, all about getting to that final court.
Yeah, it certainly is. This is really tough. We've got 8 going through, and I love to see the combinations of the brother and sister. It's you don't get this too often, having the mix. So this is a really, really special event for a couple of those ones we saw. Torrance from Newport there. We also had, who else was there? There was a couple of them in there. The Woodhouse, Alex and Phoebe from Maroochydore. So it's, I love that. You know, the family will certainly be watching on, but as you can see here now, it's, with the double skis, it's really, really important that you execute that start. You've got 2 bodies to get into that ski, and to make Good morning, everyone. Waking up, but these skis go incredibly fast, so you've got to get in and get that going.
One team I'm really interested to keep an eye on and see how they go is the team of Tom Norton and Danielle McKenzie. Danielle coming back to surf life-saving late in the season after committing so much of the past year towards kayaking. She's represented New Zealand at the World Cups and really made a strong effort to get towards that Olympics. So now back in the surf, which is her number one love. It's great to have DMAC back and racing as they're just being held that little bit longer, that line looking nice and straight at the moment, but everyone always trying to creep that little bit further forward to try and gain an advantage. It sounds like they might be set, but no start at the moment. One more wave to come through, perhaps.
I love seeing the creeping. It's all you can see. It's just all the nerves. And here we are. We are off for a start for the first race of day 3 of the Australian titles. And in the middle there, we see Bella McCabe and Cooper Miskell going off very, very well. And then we have Manly on screen right now.
That's right. And on the near side of frame on that orange ski, it is Lachlan Tame from Burleigh Heads Mowbray Park alongside Kate Regan, a new combination given that Lockie's now at Burleigh after leaving Avoca, and they are looking really, really strong. So much power at the moment and plenty of experience too. That's the benefit of having an Olympic medalist at the front of the ski court. It's
not a bad partner to have, is it? And their stroke is beautiful. They're exactly in time right now, and they're a little bit slower than you see most of the other crew out there, but that's because Lockie, he's, having his kayaking background, perfect technique, and look at that, it looks beautiful, and it's certainly different conditions, isn't it? I think a lot of the double ski paddlers they will really love that. They can get into their technique, stroke, and this is the trickiest part of coming up, isn't it, that first can turn?
Yeah, that's right. So it's Burleigh Heads Mowbray Park in one, Newport on the outside with Northcliffe on their inside. Keep an eye on the yellow and white ski of Newport. That's Piper Harrison and Fletcher Armstrong coming in late towards that can. That angle's going to make things a little bit tricky as they start to come around now, that turn. And that's a clear-cut 7 at the moment, back to the first North Bondi team that is currently in there. That's Jim Walker and Elizabeth Wise in 8th at the moment. So it is cutthroat racing at this stage of the day. 8 to go through to the final, which will be held in just a few minutes' time as well, which is an interesting way to do it as well, Courtney, because you do have one thought to, okay, what can I conserve in terms of energy, because there's not a lot of time to turn around.
Yeah, absolutely. You're exactly right. This event definitely gets the forearms moving and gets a lot of, I guess you could say, lactic acid. But I feel like Lockie Tame and Kate Regan, I feel like they're just taking a little bit easier. They look really comfortable, as well as Tom Norton, Danielle McKenzie. They've done this so many times before. They're so experienced. And I wouldn't be surprised if they're just tapping it off a little bit and knowing that they are in a very good position. And again, as well, with the swell today, I think there is an opportunity to, not to obviously go easy out there, because when you're doing a semi-final in Australian titles, everyone is very, very good. But just an opportunity to maybe just save a little bit in the tank.
So it is Norton and McKenzie from Northcliffe that are currently leading the field as a few little waves start to stand up. This wave might bring 6 crews through. It looks to be Burleigh Heads Mowbray Park is sitting on top of that. But 5 are now down. No, 4 down. So Curra will come off the back as well, but there is a little wave behind. So all of the crews on screen currently safe to go through. That is our top 4, Newport, Northcliffe, Burleigh Heads and Newport. We have a second Burleigh Heads crew following behind. That was the combination of Hardstaff and Mitchell. And we also had Karawa not too far behind as well with Goodwin and Mole. But it will be a real race to see who can claim those final 2 spots.
Yeah, it's going to be really tight. And you can just see when everyone came down there on that wave, the double skis, they move so fast. And as we can see, Sam, the rest of the crew coming through.
That might be a Manly starting to come through. North Bondi on the far side. I do believe that was the combination of Walker and Wise, but we will wait for confirmation on that. That is going to be a tight one, but it did look as though that was our top 8, a sprint finish for the final 2 spots from that wave of 3. Gee, that's one way to get going in the morning, isn't it, Courtney?
It's good morning. Hello, we're here. Let's get going, and we'll move into one of the hardest events of the whole program of Aussies. And as you see, semi-final number 2 will be waiting there patiently to have their turn. And they really would have had to. All the athletes today have done a very, very good warm up to get straight into this. It's they'd have to be up nice and early and make sure their bodies are ready, because you can see some of the athletes there swinging their arms around and trying to get themselves ready for this semi number 2.
And it's a special event on the program as well, the mixed double ski, getting the men's and women's paddlers together. And Christy's down on the beach. She had a front row seat to that action this morning.
I did have a front row seat. I'm down here with Piper and Fletcher. We've seen them go through the rounds very, very strong. Qualified through again now to the final. What were your thoughts waking up and seeing the conditions change to what we've got out in front of us this morning?
Yeah, it's a big change in the conditions from yesterday. I think it's probably a bit better in terms of getting around safe, and there's less variables that come into it. So I guess it just comes down to paddling speed with these conditions today.
A bit more security for those teams who have done the work, not as much luck involved. And how do you go getting yourselves up and physically and mentally ready for semis and finals at 8 a.m. in the morning?
Yeah, I guess you wake up and, you know, you've got 2 big races straight off the bat. So I think it's nice to have a semi before the final, definitely. And that was a good one to get warmed up, ready to go. And, yeah, we're into the final, which is really exciting. And so just give it everything we've got in the final.
Well, I know you don't have a lot of rest. We'll have this second semi, and then we'll see you guys in the final. So I'll let you recover, and we'll look for you in the big one.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you very much, Christy, and well done to the Newport combination of Fletcher Armstrong and Piper Harrison. Fletcher's such a strong kayaker. He's always been a surf ski paddler, but he's devoted a lot of time in the past couple of years to his sprint kayaking, and you can see it in the way that he paddles as well. Sets up a team boat really nicely, very powerful on his catch, and a really nice rating as well, Courtney.
Yeah, definitely. Those two look so good together, and it is like that. It's like you kind of your board rescue as well. You really need to feel comfortable and good, and I think the double ski is safe as well. You want to definitely feel safe with the person, especially most of the teams have the male in front, and you just want to make sure that they're good at keeping the ski straight. But it's definitely a big program. Just listening to Piper Harrison talk, then she did the Iron Woman yesterday. Unfortunately, missed out in that final, but they do have a really big program, don't they, moving forward to this rest of the Aussies. And here we look on screen, we've got the next start for semi number 2.
So Newport Team A, Smith and Trim, there'll be plenty of eyes on them. Bondi B, Kaplan and Patterson. Mermaid Beach B, Thompson and Thompson. Southport A, Fuller and Gents. Point Leo A, Robinson and Robinson. Dickey Beach Team A, Bessel and Huey. Newport Team B, Reese and Locke. Manly Team A, Garrett and Jones. Noosa Heads A, Kither and Mercer. City of Perth A, Fredenay and Jenkinson. Clifton Beach A, Dowling and Fullerton. Sorrento A of Booth and Roberts. Currumbin A, Higginson and Erskine. Northcliffe Team A, Norton and Hardy. Alexandra Headland C, Henson Thompson and Wall. And Swansea Belmont Team A of Johnson and Murphy. Another packed semi-final. It's going to be all about getting in that ski cleanly and finding that combination as quickly as possible. You can really see the difference between the crews who have spent time paddling together and those who are just jumping in it at Aussies, because every single stroke in the early part of the race is so important to get that boat moving. It's something that we saw Burley do so well in that last semi-final as well in order to get off the line, and that really set up their race. Let's head back down to Christy, who's on the beach.
Thanks, Sam. I've got Annabelle and Noah from the team of Bondi, loving that blue and white ski. The commentators will definitely look for that. Did you learn anything from that first semi?
Yeah, I think we learned that we just got to not give up and keep going, because we even on the quarter we came out. Oh, the first semi, sorry, I was talking about our quarter. The first semi, no, just go hard. I think that's all we've learnt today.
By the time you get to semis, really, I guess it's business time. A lot of people say the semis are harder than the final. You just want to bank your spot.
Yeah, we're just looking to make the final. It would be so epic to have a Bondi team in the final. I don't know the last time we have had one, but yeah, it'd be so much fun.
Have you paddled a lot together?
Yeah, well, I mean, we're kind of new to the sport. We started paddling a couple of years ago, and we've been paddling together pretty much since we started. So, yeah, it seems to be working out.
Well, I'll let you go. I think they're ready to get you for a start. All the very best of luck.
Thank you very much.
So great to see Bondi represented. We often see North Bondi going around the cans at the front of so many competitions, but Bondi, Australia's most iconic beach, and fighting for a place in this open mixed double ski final. 8 to go through. We did just see the first semi-final go around, and there's not going to be long to rest between races as well. That mixed double final is going to be on the line pretty quickly after this second semi.
Yeah, absolutely. You make a great point about just having that nice relationship between your partner when you're out there. And I really feel like Noah and Annabelle from Bondi there really had that. They were very happy and excited, especially Annabelle. You know, it's, you want to have a really nice relationship out there and support each other and encourage, because when you're on the double ski, I haven't done it too many times. I've done it once or twice, but you have lots of chit-chats out there, and it's so important. And it's also like, we'll see today when we see some of the finals, the board relay coming up, I've noticed there that if you can be on paper, have the best three paddlers, 1, 2, 3, and can all be in a team together, but there is every chance you can be beaten by another team that may not even have some of the competitors in the finals, but it's all about the energy and the relationship and the support, and you have some competitors that just really live for their team, and I feel like this is one of those events that you really need to have that good relationship.
That's right, and they are off and racing now at the moment. That is Newport Team B on that yellow tip ski in the middle of the screen, Jake Reese and Jasmine Locke. On the far left-hand side, Mitchell Trim and Gemma Smith. That is Newport A. They are always at the front of these mixed double finals here at the Aussies, and we're sure today will be no different as well. It looks as though there is a wave starting to stand up on this second bank. Newport really trying to put the foot down to get underneath it. In the middle of the screen, they're going to have to duck and get underneath that wave. They did an incredible job of getting through that. Our front markers, the rest of the field, absolutely smashed, Courtney.
Hey, that was insane, wasn't it? And it's so hard with these double skis because everyone's pretty used to being on their individual ski, which is a lot shorter, but to know that you've got to get a full double ski in front of you. But yeah, definitely Gemma Smith and Mitchell Trim did very, very well. I feel like watching semi-final number 1, that northern side was just a little bit, I guess, not easier to get out, but there was kind of more of a window of opportunity to go through there. So at the moment, it's pretty spread out, this semi number 2.
Yeah, it really is. After that set came through, we spoke before the start about how important it was to get in cleanly and get that boat moving, and that is exactly why, because you never know what's going to come on that back bank. Every single stroke and metre is so important at this level of racing. You could see that the rating really started to lift. Ducking underneath, that was Newport Team A. Mitchell Trim getting his head wet this morning as Gemma Smith went over the back, but Mermaid Beach absolutely copping that wave. But thankfully, they did stay in. These boats are so big and powerful that they can punch through these waves, and this is the front of the pack as a result. It is Newport in 1 and 2. It does look like we have Alex Headland in 3 at the moment, Noosa Beach perhaps in 4. Keep an eye out trying to look for Northcliffe A. We did have them up towards the front before, but right now we can't quite spot them as paddles starting to come together there. Sorrento and Swansea Belmont side by side as Currumbin sneaks up the inside. That's why it's all important to make sure you can keep that boat moving as much as possible.
Yeah, definitely. As we saw on screen there before, you saw Michael Booth there with his partner just trying to do that one, scooping to one side with their paddle. But when things like that happen, you see the likes of the Newport crew out in front there. They get such a better, I guess, run through, and that's going to keep up those metres. So I also saw Jordan Mercer there from Noosa as well. Lovely to see her back racing.
Yeah, that's right. I did mention the team of Northcliffe A. That is Sam Norton and Emerson Hardy, and they've got a little bit of work to do at the moment because they were outside that top 8. So there are plenty of crews still struggling to try and get back up to the front of this race at the moment after that wave caused carnage at the start. No problems for our leaders. That is Trim and Smith. They're going to get a nice little wave into the beach and book their place in the final. As a wave starts to stand up out the back, we currently have 6 going through, or perhaps make that 5 certainties at the moment. As a wave starts to stand up, Noosa Heads is the one that fell off the back there. They're going to have to get moving if they are to book their place because a wave is coming, Courtney.
It certainly is, and you've got to go on this one. It looked like it was a bit of a heavier wave, but I'd have to say Mitchell Trim and Gemma Smith, they'd surely have to be the favourites going to this final. Not too far away. They look very relaxed. And here we go, Sam. I think we've only got 4 or 5 through, so 3 more teams to pick.
So City of Perth goes through in 6th place, and it is going to be incredibly tight for those final places. We will have to leave that up to the judges. Maybe 7th place was a little bit clear. Sorrento looks like they had a decent run towards the line, but gee, that is anyone's guess, depending on the angle of the flags as well. The drone just a little bit outside of that finish line angle that the judges will be using to determine who did hit the line first. So that is going to be a very nervous wait for a lot of good crews as well.
Oh, definitely. I love to also see there's so many crews from all over Australia. We've had, WA, Victoria, obviously here on the Gold Coast, New South Wales. It's been amazing. It's a real big mix of teams in there, and everyone love this event, and it's going to be a really big cracking final. But certainly that semi number 2, they're not going to have the rest. We just see Mitchell Trim just on screen there, and he's also partnered there in Newport, just going for a bit of a recovery swim to get rid of that lactate. But we'd love to hear from Christy. She's down the beach with all the action.
Courts, I'm down on the beach here with Geordie and Chris. They're just debriefing that semi. What were your thoughts?
I think a great early morning hit out. I mean, I was pretty nervous heading into that semi, just it's the first race of the day. I've been so excited for this event, and off the back of the state titles, Chris and I having a victory there, it's just, when you know you have a shot in any of these Australian races, it means a lot.
And once you've booked yourself a spot in the finals, we are saying everyone's up with a shot. So you are well and truly in this race. Am I right in understanding you've had a win at the state titles, but you haven't actually been paddling together for a long time?
No, well, only a year and a half ago I moved up from Adelaide, so it was probably, I don't know, a month ago we started paddling together. So, but we sort of clicked from the moment we jumped on together, and it's just run smooth, and yeah, see what we can do in the final.
Well, when you get that right combination from the start, you know you're onto something pretty magic. What is the plan going into this final?
Oh, everything. Giving it absolutely everything. It's such a different day to what we've had in the previous 2 days. It's definitely more of that flat water feel. We obviously have some of those sets in like that early bank that we saw in our semi. Chris and I punched through one. I didn't quite know how that was going to turn out, but we managed to get through. So, yes, the surf, but it's a little cleaner out there today. So I'm going to be pretending I'm a kayaker. I'm on the back, so Chris is the boss. He's calling the shots, steering out there, so I'm just perfect timing and giving it everything I've got.
Well, we know you won't have a long time. They'll start to line up the places and the qualifiers for the final. I'll let you do some quick recovery. What are you going to do in this next 5 minutes?
Oh, just maybe a light jog, get the blood flowing again, and try to recover as quick as I can for the next race. So, yeah.
We'll let you go and do that now. All the best.
Thank you. Thanks, guys. Cheers.
Thank you, Christy, and well done to the crew from Noosa. Geordie Mercer, a champion Ironwoman. She's doing her best impression of a kayaker, as she said there. They looked really strong through that water as well, and she did touch on what is the big talking point of the morning so far, which is the dramatic change in the conditions. The first 2 days of the Open Championships here at the Aussies were serving up wild surf and plenty of wind. Today, well, it's a perfect day down on the beach.
It certainly is. It's nice and smooth, and you definitely have a feeling out there the kayakers will be absolutely loving that. They're used to that flat, flatter swell, obviously being in the creek and the river. But, yeah, I love the way Geordie speaks. And she just said, paddling with her partner for a month. And a lot of the crews would be like this, but it is exceptional. We'll know there'll be so much energy. Everyone watching on the beach, we're excited to be here. So all the best for all those finalists.
Timing and boat run is always so important in a double ski, but particularly given the conditions that we do have today, being really smooth ocean, there isn't a lot of wind chop that we have seen over the past couple of mornings. Even from sunrise, there has been plenty of bump on the ocean, and that's why it's so important, particularly around those cans. You could see that in the racing today, it was a real pack again as they made their way around. That peloton that it does look like as they go around the cans. In the past couple of days, particularly in those ski heats that we did see yesterday, the field was quite strung out. That's why just feeling comfortable in that boat with your partner, making sure you're feeling like you're not fighting the balance of the boat either way is really, really important.
It is really important. You're spot on there, Sam. Definitely watching those last few semis, especially semi number 2. Just how much meters and distance the front crew, if you get a good start and be out in front, you don't get caught up in all that carnage around that first can. And I think that's definitely where your race is definitely going to be won or lost. And we're really looking forward to, because we do have some highlights coming up, and we're really looking forward to seeing those. But so much happening. We've only had 2 races so far, and it's been nervous times, exciting times, and here's those special highlights.
Yeah, so this was the first semi-final that we did see of the Open Mixed Double today. Our front 5 getting a nice relaxing wave into the beach. And even these little moments that are currently on screen, Courtney, so important that when there's 5 minutes between semi-finals and the finals, you want to take every little bit of energy that you can get. And our front runners in the first semi-final certainly got the chance to do that.
They certainly did. They really did that so well on that last race we just saw. And it's just, time to relax. I don't need to sprint through. It doesn't matter, 1, 2, 3, 4. Doesn't matter what you end up there. But we certainly saw a lot of the top paddlers really come in and just try and relax as much as they can. And the best way to be relaxing is coming down away from that last string can and coming all the way through. And we just see the shots there. And we do now looking forward. And there's that carnage we spoke about, Sam, just before.
Yeah, nice smooth paddling is what you want to be doing, not quite paddling on top of each other, crumbing at the top of the screen, getting a nice clean run of water around the inside of the cans. This was the second semi-final, and it came down to a sprint finish. We will be seeing those pictures in just a moment, but that's the smooth water that we've been speaking about so far this morning, Court. Not quite a chance to put your paddle down when you're catching runs. You do need to try and keep that power on as you paddle all the way to the beach. So in that second semi-final, it was Newport Team A and B that did all of the hard work out in front. They had quite a comfortable gap, and Jake Reese and his partner Jasmine Locke, it's the first time they've raced together in Australian Championships. Mitchell Trim and Gemma Smith, they've come so close to winning this event so many times. They're really doing everything they can to make sure that this is their year. They got a nice relaxing wave to the beach, but things started to get a little bit more stressful as we go a little bit further back. So that's Trim and Smith on the front wave, Reese and Locke paddling on the top of the wave behind. That's a nice relaxing way to finish off your semi-final. I guess that's the reward for putting in that hard work at the start. Both of those crews ducking underneath. A pretty sizable set, actually. It might have been one of the bigger waves that we've seen in racing so far today. So that was easily done for the two of them. We can see the crew of Alexandra Headland coming across the line for third, Noosa Heads and Manly A. They were comfortable in our top 5. 6 was City of Perth. They came across the line with just 2 places left up for grabs. 7th, the green ski, is Sorrento, and 8th was Northcliffe A. Southport, Currumbin and Swansea Belmont all missing out in that photo finish. We spoke about the combination of Sam Norton and Emerson Hardy. They had a bit of work to do as they made their way around those cans. They got home by the barest of margins, so they're into the final. I guess after a bit of a scare like that, how do you put something out of your mind like that?
Oh, I think we've all done it. We've all just scraped in or just scraped out, actually. But it doesn't matter if you 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. They are in the final, and that's all that matters. So as soon as that gun goes off, it doesn't matter what your resume looks like. It doesn't matter what you came in the semi-final before or the quarter-final. You just well and truly deserve to be in that final. So you've got 15 other teams that's going to be competition. And as Geordie spoke really well before, she said, you've just got to go for it, and that's the Australian titles, and that's the magic that you have to have if you're able to get a gold medal. She also touched upon really well the fact that, well, we're about to race for an Australian Championship. First up this morning on day 3, they're starting to get that start list organised at the moment down there on the beach, but we don't have too long to wait. Plenty of arms being shaken out, the lactic acid being shaken, plenty of legs being slapped. You can see the crews just getting into position there as well, because I would say that we are just minutes away from a start in this Open Mixed Double Ski Championship of Australia. Some stretching at the top of the screen. Courtney, when you've been racing, what do you like to do in this kind of scenario? You've just had a semi-final hit out. You've got another race coming up quickly. What was it that you like to do to get your body firing? Yeah, I was actually really interested to hear one of the paddlers say that they were going for a little jog. I was like, that's a very good effort. We don't really see the ski paddlers who just focus on ski paddling do that too much. But yeah, I'd love to have a little swim first up and then a little jog as well. So it just so that means doing the swim, you're just relaxing the arms and getting rid of the lactate in the forearms, and then with your legs, getting rid of the lactic acid in that calf. But Sam, here we go for the final start list. This is the final of the Open Mixed Double Ski Championship of Australia. Kurrawa Team A of Goodwin and Mole, North Bondi A of Walker and Wise, Newport C, Armstrong and Harrison, Burleigh Heads B, Hardstaff and Mitchell, Manly A, Garrett and Jones, Noosa Heads A, Kither and Mercer, Alexandra Headland C, Henson Thompson and Wall, Sorrento A, Booth and Roberts, Newport A, Smith and Trim, Northcliffe A, Norton and Hardy, Northcliffe D, Norton and McKenzie, Newport B, Reese and Locke, Newport E, Torrens and Torrens, Allura A, Neil and Murray, City of Perth A, Fredden A and Jenkinson, and Burleigh Heads C, Regan and Tame. All 16 crews, so much speed, and they're such strong combinations to be finalists of Australia. But I tell you what, in the middle of the screen, I'm very interested to see how it's going to play out. We have Newport A, Northcliffe D, which is Tom Norton and Danielle McKenzie, no less, and Newport B, which is Reese and Locke. They were 4 of perhaps the strongest crews in those 2 semi-finals, and they're lined up side by side. That is going to be very interesting to see who can get the jump on those crews around them. Yeah, definitely. It's also by the time you hit that first can, who is on the inside and who is on the outside, because they are big skis, and to go around the outside, they're going to lose a few extra meters, and then looking, compared to those teams on the inside. But as we've seen in semi number 1 and semi number 2, it was the northern side that was a lot stronger. So you've got the likes of Miranda Goodwin, Daniel Moll from Kurrawa, they're inside, Walker and Wise, as well as Armstrong and Harrison, Hardstaff and Mitchell. So if we're going off of looking what we've seen this morning, they will have the better end. But we've seen Maroochydore over the last 2 days, and anything can happen. It can change up, and certainly being over the southern side of Kate Regan and Lockie Tame, they're definitely not going to be slowing down.
So much class right across this field. We just had Newport A on screen, Mitchell Trim and Gemma Smith. They are hunting a maiden victory in the mixed double final. The last time this race was contested at Maroochydore Beach, it was Danielle McKenzie, who's currently in Northcliffe D. She won it with Mackenzie Heinard, who isn't competing today. Newport, gee, it looked like I had it won that day, and it was a photo finish by the barest of margins, and I know that the pain of that is still at the forefront. That's Daniel Moll getting some advice from Jackson Collins, a 2-time Australian single ski champion, not racing this weekend because he's going to be representing Australia at the Olympics. One of our surf sports athletes who will be lining up in Paris, which is a huge achievement. And plenty of chat around the beach today as well with the Olympics. The International Life-Saving Association is making a bold play for surf life-saving to be included in the Brisbane 2032 Games. There is a big press conference happening here a little bit later on today. It has the support of some heavyweight names, including your own, Courtney. Plenty of excitement around that.
Oh, I can't wait. It's so exciting. It gives me, when you were just talking about that, it gives me goosebumps to even think that, we do have a big opportunity to be a part of that Olympic Games, and it would just do so much for our sport, and our sport deserves to be there as well. We've got incredible athletes, and we saw the lineup this morning reading the paper of how many athletes we have that are surf sport athletes still and have gone on to be Olympians in other sports as well. So that just shows the strength and depth in surf life saving. And here we are for a start. I've seen one of the competitors with his hand up, just making sure it's an even start. Yeah,
it's a bold play. That does look to be Lachlan Tame on the inside, on the left-hand side of screen rather, with his arm up. You always want to make sure you're ready to go when they do fire that gun. But they are set at the moment. The field really tight towards that right-hand side, exactly there on screen at the moment. This could result in plenty of carnage. If those paddles start getting connected against each other, they're going to be struggling to keep that boat moving forward. I like the look of the right-hand side of the line. There is clean water for those paddlers down there. And as we have seen in these semi-finals, you do need to make sure you get away clean. So just a bit of jostling for positions at the moment. The crew's making sure that they're not a centimetre behind those alongside them, which of course always means for plenty of creeping. But we are ready for a start in the Mixed Doubles Ski Championship of Australia for 2024. As they keep creeping further out to sea, I thought that could have been us to get away at the moment. The Czech starter just trying to keep them set. Newport E on screen. They're moving and they are away. A start in the Open Mixed Double Final at Aussies in 2024. And it is a reasonably even start in the centre of the field as well. It looked as though it was the crew of Noosa Heads making a strong going. But now there's an opportunity for those who can get around it. On the right-hand side, they were hit. And it is Noosa out in front. Newport B now starting to get into their work, along with Burley Heads on the inside. That is Tame and Regan. But Armstrong and Harrison on that yellow and white stripe ski making a flying start.
Yeah, that northern side, again, they were off to a very, very good start. There was also a backwash that came through as well. I'm not too sure how many teams got on it, but I feel like Fletcher Armstrong, Piper Harrison just got a little bit of that backwash, and the thing is, they absolutely took it, and they are rolling with it. But I have to say on the southern side, Kate Regan and Lachlan Tame, they didn't worry them. They are off to a very flying start as well.
Fletcher Armstrong on the front of that boat, one of the fastest starters in surf sports paddling. He is absolutely lightning, and he showed it just then as well. They have a big advantage at this stage of the race. We did catch a glimpse of Newport A. Trim and Smith were leading out their pack, but they still have plenty of work to do to try and reel in their clubmates. So it's Newport in 1 and 2 at the moment. Armstrong and Harrison out in front. Trim and Smith are currently in second place as we try and pick up the caps of those who are right there in the mix as well. That could be Sorrento, Booth and Roberts. Jamie Roberts, of course, an Olympic representative for Australia as well. And then you can see the pack. There are paddles coming together as they try and get around the cans. Different lines being taken, skis getting hit. That is not where you want to find yourself. Norton and Mackenzie, it did look like there from Northcliffe, coming to a grinding halt, but the race is being won at the front at the moment. Armstrong and Harrison are now doing everything they can to try and get away. Piper just trying to keep in time. And now you can see Tom Norton and Danielle McKenzie coming through. So it was the other Northcliffe team that got tangled up. And now a big push towards the line as the race starts to heat up.
Oh, you just saw Tom Norton and Danielle McKenzie. They are on a mission. They've got the steely look in their eyes. And also Gemma Smith and Mitchell Trim, they are looking. But here we have them. We have a wave on offer, and there could be 5 on this front lead wave.
It's going to be a sprint in 5 for the Australian Championship. Armstrong and Harrison could only sit there and watch as the rest of the field caught up to them. They all dropped down the face. Some late takeoffs there from Newport, the crew of Reese and Locke, but everyone holds strong at the moment. Sorrento goes sideways, and they've taken out Armstrong and Harrison as well. It's a race in 3 for the mixed double championship. Trim and Smith making a strong push towards the line, but it's Reese and Locke coming back late. The two Newport clubs side by side as they hit the line, and that is incredibly tight between those two crews. It looked as though Reese and Locke might have just got the nod ahead of Smith and Trim. Danielle McKenzie and Tom Norton from Northcliffe will take the bronze after so much drama at the end of the race. The surf has dropped off, but it is still surfing up. Plenty of carnage. That was unbelievable.
That was welcome to the Australian titles, everyone. That was absolutely insane. As we can see, the Northport crew there, that was insane. I'm not too sure who won that, but I have to say, feeling so incredibly sorry for Fletcher Armstrong and Piper Harrison. It wasn't their fault. They got taken out just in the end. They did an incredible race and led that from the start and almost to the finish, but I feel like, I'm almost in tears for them right now. That was absolutely heartbreaking, and unfortunately with the Australian titles, there's the highs and the lows, but we have Christy on the beach in there with all the emotions and action.
I do, Courts. Come on in, both teams, or we'll just see who we can grab. No one's really too sure who got that one. Hugs all around. No one's really got a spare amount of breath to have a chat to me, but guys, how do you think that went? Too close to call?
Way too close to call. Look, end of the day, both Newport teams are going for the gold, and ours is teams first, so either way, the club's going to be happy, and it's a great race for us, these skis.
Was almost going to be a Newport 1, 2 and 3. Your other team had a little bit of drama on the end of that wave there, but as we say, that is surf. What was the thoughts going through your mind coming down that wave with those 5 crews?
I knew it was going to be really tight. All the crews kind of converged onto each other, but Jake kept control and we got down the wave and we just powered home, so it's really good.
Just that razor-sharp focus, knowing that you can't let anything slew at this stage. We'll have to wait for the official results, but either way, you've got a medal. You're on the podium. How special is that?
Extremely special. These double races aren't easy to win. We did get a bit of luck there. We got the wave, but again, it wasn't easy to hold. But yeah, this is really, really special for everyone.
We'll let you go and have a bit of an eagle wait. Have a chat with your teammates. I might even see if I can call Mitch in for a quick chat. So close. We haven't heard the official results yet, but smiles either way.
Absolutely. It's one of the events that we really love at Newport, the mixed doubles. It's fantastic to have the girls and the guys combined for such a great race. So, yeah, it was great to finish off the day yesterday with the heats and then to come back first thing this morning for the semis and the finals, and to have Newport either way 1-2 is really awesome.
So awesome, Mitch. We talk about you having the biggest smile on the beach all day, every day. How were you preparing just to paddle away from that wave, knowing a gold medal is on the line?
Gem's our brains in that, and she said, let's just pull on this side because there's a little bit more water running, a little bit more water underneath us, and that's what we did. And hats off to Jazz and Jakey. Jakey's a lot stronger than I am, so I just had to grit my teeth and smile and try and finish it off. But 1-2, we're stoked. So either way it falls, we're pretty happy.
Well, congratulations. We're stoked for you as well. We'll let you go and get those official results.
Thank you so much.
And thank you, Chrissy. Yeah, it's a nervous wait down on the beach between those two Newport crews. We do know that Northcliffe secured the bronze medal, Danielle McKenzie and Tom Norton, after firing back late in what was an incredible mixed double ski final here at the Aussies. We will bring you that result as to who did take it out as soon as we do get it. But for now, let's relive that race because, Courtney, there was thrills from every end. You can see at the moment on this jump, the right-hand side of screen, as it is the northern side, they're going to get a bit of a clean run around. The left-hand side all got hit by a wave, and that gave a big advantage and opportunity, rather, to Fletcher Armstrong and Piper Harrison. They absolutely flew away from this field, but in the end, it all was for nothing because it came down to a 5-way sprint at the end.
Yeah, it certainly did. You just saw that replay before then. They just took off that start so well and held it. And even here, looking at on the northern side, they've got plenty of room. And just at last minute, that Sorrento team by accident slewed there and just took them out of medal contention. And it's just devastating. If they, watch that back, it'd be hard to watch for them. But here we go, Sam. This was the finish. Here we go. Oh, this is going back a bit.
From that front angle, you could see that Newport on the far side also started to go a little bit as well. Now, not saying in any means that they were going to slew, but you can see that there clearly was a bit of water moving up that end of the wave that did just make things a little bit trickier. Then it was the sprint. Now, of course, the drone isn't lining up directly between the two flags, so it isn't the exact same angle that the judges are going to be using, but on that drone, you can see that Jake Reese and Jasmine Locke, a new doubles combination who has only paddled minimal times together, they really charged late towards that line.
They really did. It was just so close at the end. And as you said, Sam, when you look from the flags where the judges have it, is a bit of a different angle, absolutely, but we'll know not too far away. And I know Danielle McKenzie and Tom Norton, they will be absolutely stoked with the bronze medal. Denny's only just come back. I know she hasn't actually trained for a couple of weeks, so there's not too many athletes that can do that. She's certainly a special athlete, and those two were really steely-eyed coming in.
Well, the results are now in, and it is Newport Team B, Jake Reese and Jasmine Locke, who have won the Open Mixed Double Ski Final. In second is Newport A of Gemma Smith and Mitchell Trim. The bronze medal, Tom Norton and Danielle McKenzie. For the full results, head to liveheats.com. But they are our medal winners in this Open Mixed Double Ski. Not just clubmates, those two crews, but also best friends. They do so much together, spend a lot of time together, both Jasmine and Gemma. Kayak together. They actually paddle the K2 together as well. Trimmy and Jake, best mates. And that is, well, you can't really get any tighter than that. An incredible way to start day 3 here at the Aussies as we now start to get ready for the Open Ironman semi-finals, Courtney.
And yeah, they all looked really happy for each other, giving hugs all around at the end there. So that was super special. But here we go, the Open Ironman final, and this is the one that gets the nerves for the men and women. The girls, they've run and done yesterday, and here we have the men's and semi-final number 1, and there's a name that we all know so very well, and that is Ali Day. He'll be up in number 1. He's going for his 4th Ironman title in the row. There's only been a couple of men to do the 4 in a row, and we've had next time, we've had Kai Hirsch, Shannon obviously having the most at the moment. I think he's got about 8, Trevor Hendy on 6, so Ali's right up in there. And Tenon Linden, he looks so good. He'd probably want the surf to be a little bit more wild and messier, but he'll be in there doing very well. Finn Askew, Wes Gould, he's on fire at the moment. Ben Carberry, Charlie Verco, Charlie Morris, Callum Brennan, Jackson Borg, TJ Hendy, Zach Morris. Zach Morris, I have to say, is one. He looks very good at the moment. He's very fast, so watch for him off the start. Will Savage got through, did a very strong swim to get in. Zale Outram, Tex Dixon, Ben Highfield and Sam Frost for that first semi-final.
That's right. So we will see whether they are splitting the areas or whether they are going to be running both semis in the one area. Of course, they are just trying to adjust at the moment and get the ski finishing tower out of the water as well. We might even have some more double skis starting to head into the water in that same arena as well. But it is the Open semi-finals for the Ironman that we'll be casting an eye on. Yeah, it does look like they are going to be running in this blue and white area for that first semi-final as some of those skis start to get put onto the line. Courtney, so far throughout the Aussies, the Ironman rounds have been first up of a morning. We've now had about a 1 hour break after the warm-up to have those mixed double skis. How does that affect preparation?
Well, I think mentally you just want it done. So I think sometimes it's really difficult when if you sit around and you're waiting, you just know that the semi-final's coming and we noticed something. I don't think there was an athlete that's going to be in this Ironman that was in the double. That would have made it very hard. And one athlete would have been, for example, Danielle McKenzie if she had the Ironwoman semi after. So from memory, from looking at everyone, I don't think anyone did run that. I hope they haven't. So I think it's just they've been thinking about it all morning and it's really just a chance to relax. They would have had to have done a really good warm-up because it is still only 10-9 at the moment. So just getting ready and getting really ready to go. And it's at the moment it's going to be a lot tighter, I'm going to say, than what we saw the last few days. Just having that swell, it really was able to kind of, I guess, give some space between the athletes. But I think definitely today it's going to be a bit more budged up. But we are very lucky to have Christy Munro down the beach.
Thanks, Court. I'm down here on the beach with Zane Hamill, coach of Surfers Paradise. 5 athletes in this first semi. What's been your advice to them, and how do you give advice to your 5 athletes?
Yeah, firstly, it's so exciting to have 5 in here. Squad's been great all week, and yeah, this is a testament to the whole group. And these 5 boys, they're really clear, they're calm, they know what's going on in the ocean. Obviously, we're a few days in now, so had plenty of experience out there. So yeah, it's just hitting your spots and really backing yourself, and you know, hopefully things fall on your side of the fence.
I guess your work as a coach has been all summer long, so as you mentioned, probably not a lot of coaching that you can do left for today. The boys know what they've got to do and you just sort of leave them to it?
Yeah, everyone's slightly different, so there is some cues for each individual separately. So yeah, just really knowing the athletes and knowing what they need at this time. Some need a little bit more than others, but yeah, we've got good relationships, and yeah, it's just about doing your best and having fun with it. Simple as that.
Well, it's a very, very proud club with a long history of success in the Ironman and Ironwoman races. So we hope to see the Surfers Paradise Cup cap up there in plenty of numbers come the finals.
Thanks so much.
It's a funny way, the way that the draw works, isn't it? You know, it is randomised, of course, when you do progress through each round. Surfers Paradise have 5 athletes in the Open Ironman semis, all 5 in the first one.
Yeah, I just took when I was reading out the names before, and I was saying to him, I was like, well, that really feels like a lot of Surfers Paradise. But as Zane said before, 5 athletes, and each, unfortunately, they've just got to go for it. Obviously, a lot of the athletes, I know the boys are in board relays, they're in taplins together, but at the moment, they've really got to get out there, think of themselves out there and absolutely go for it. But yeah, it definitely makes it hard for Zane as a coach to have 5 of your athletes. He'll certainly be doing a lot of screamies. They'll be running around the flags there, but all the boys look really relaxed. There's a few chats going on, and a few others look a little bit more nervous than some of the others. But this is all. They all really do want to make that final, and we might go back to Christy and see if she's got someone on the beach for us.
Thanks, Courts. I'm down here with Zach King, son of legendary Michael King, who's in the second semi. I just said, when did you grow up so fast? I feel like you were just born yesterday and making me feel very, very old. But semi-final Open Ironman, what's been the advice from Dad?
You know, there's not much out there today compared to the past few days. So just take the race into my own hands, don't take any big risks, and hopefully just bring it down to a surf race and swim them down.
And what's been the focus of the training over summer? I might ask this question to Dad. What's been, I guess, the program to build up to this Aussies and to get the athletes race ready?
Yeah, look, I think, you know, we've got a younger group of athletes with some more experienced guys. So, you know, these guys are very lucky that they get to learn off the likes of Ben Carberry, Corey Fletcher. They're very good leaders of our group as well. So, you know, our main thing is to keep developing, keep growing, keep learning. And these young guys, you know, there's 8 of them, I think, from our club in the semis. So it's a good opportunity for them to see exactly where we're at.
Yeah, it's an amazing training ground. A little bit of an advantage, perhaps, being in semi-final number 2. What are you hoping to take out, or what are you looking for just watching this first semi unfold?
Yeah, it's just good to get a watch, you know what they're doing, mostly in the swim leg, because in the ski, can't really change much about where you are on the line. But yeah, it's, you know, definitely good going second.
Well, I'll let you guys refocus, talk tactics. All the very best of luck.
Thank you.
Chrissy, and great to see the Kings, father and son, in action as well. Michael King mentioned it there. Well, you know, Surfers Paradise has 5, Burleyheads has 8 in these semi-finals, but what about that decision for the coach as well? He doesn't just have 8 athletes, he has his own son among the mix as well.
I can't even imagine. We're just rolling through 8 athletes, and they all have a massive chance to make that final. But then also, yeah, as you said, Sam, throwing your son in there. Oh, it's a lot of emotions for Kingy, but he does it so well. He's so relaxed and calm, and not only that, he has a lot of girls in all the other age groups as well. So, yeah, who's feeling nervous?
Yeah, exactly right. They are just resetting that course at the moment after having those mixed double skis go around in the blue and white arena. So we did just get confirmation then that both of the Ironman semis will be run in this arena, which means that we will be able to bring you both of those races as well. The athletes are starting to get ready. They're standing there on the line. The order being ski, board, swim for the Ironman semis. Ski, board, swim. So we have our 2 craft legs first before a swim at the very end, which after 2 legs of racing, gee, that can be tough to swim through that.
Yeah, absolutely. It is a big course. As we were timing this iron yesterday, it was about 14 minutes. So it might be a little bit shorter today because they won't be held up as much for those waves, but it's still a really, really big swim. And I think going to this lookout for not only the athletes that are really fit, but those swimmers that not only swim well, but they swim well tired. And there's a big difference to having the swim first to the swim being last. It's you kind of go into different energy levels, and it's a different way to swim when you're tired. And so we'll certainly look at that, but it's just really going to come down to just that real gritty swim at the end there, and a lot can happen. You can definitely take a few people down when the swim's last and it's really long like this. And again, they have been racing for the last 2 days, and the heats and the quarterfinals have been very, very fast. So these men here today, they've really got to back themselves, their fitness.
Yeah, we will try and check back in with Chrissy Munro down on the beach at some point about exactly how those conditions are looking. This drone shot actually gives a pretty good answer to the question I'm going to ask, which is that we did see the double skis go around. Now, when that starting gun fires, you get in and paddle in a straight line. But here, it's going to be very interesting to see what happens in terms of lines down onto the beach. In fact, I believe we do have Christy with us now. Christy, how is that sandbank looking? Because from the drone shot that we're seeing, we can see the bottom. It looks as though that tide is dropping further and further out.
Yes, Sam, it is getting quite shallow out on that back bank. So while we've been saying the surf has definitely dropped, I'd imagine they'll be able to get up and bunny hop on their boards, run across in the swim leg, and it'll still throw up plenty of white water for those skis. So I think as we see this tide change, we'll see that back bank coming a little bit more into play. And if you time it right, you'll get out fairly lucky and fairly clean. But if they do get hit by a set on those and that opening leg of the first ski leg, that really might make or break the race for some of our competitors.
Yeah, we can just see Finaski picking up the starting flag that fell over there behind you. It does look as though they are trying to set that start line pretty close to the water as well. Now, there isn't a whole lot of beach on Maroochydore at the moment, but I guess that they might be doing that with the same thing that you're just speaking of right there, Christy, in mind, that there is going to be a fair bit of running across that bank as well.
Yeah, I think it's probably more so to do with we just don't have a lot of beach, and we've obviously got to have the transition course set up as well. So by the time we get the transition flags, we're almost up to where the skis and everything are parked up in front of the tents. So definitely a very short run in, a close start line to the water's edge here, which, it might favour some of the shorter athletes or those who aren't so keen on a long wade, but I don't think they're going to escape it completely as that back bank shallows out.
And Christy, being down there, who's looking the goods? Is there anyone that's standing out right now that's just, I guess with athletes, someone who's feeling really relaxed, really confident in themselves, and I guess you're down there and you know when you're around athletes you can really feel that energy. Is there anyone that stands out?
I think there is a lot of confidence amongst the Surfers Paradise crew. There must be a little bit of comfort in terms of having your training partners alongside you. You know how to pace yourself. You know where you should be in comparison to your teammates out there in the race. I always think Benny Carberry, he always looks pretty chilled and relaxed. He's just taking a moment down on the water's edge. So he's sort of set himself a little bit aside from the rest of the field just to have a bit of a moment before this semi. So I'm not quite sure. I'd love to know his thoughts, but he's always just looking so relaxed, so calm, so confident, and no matter where he's at throughout the season, I think he's always just ready to race.
It looks to be stretching out some of those calves too in preparation of the running he's about to do. Chrissy, they've been on the start line for quite a long time now. Are the athletes all staying down there? How are they kind of spending this time?
Yeah, I think we've just had to have a reset of the course from those mixed double skis. So the starter has got them set and ready to go now. But I think these athletes are fairly used to those lulls and breaks between events. So that wouldn't have worried them. They just took that time to chat with their coaches, chat with their handlers, refine or, I guess, scrutinise their tactics for this semi, and they're all set to go.
Well, thank you very much, Christy. We'll check back in with you soon as the athletes do make their way out into the water to begin semi-final number 1 of the Open Ironman here at the Aussies for 2024. And to run through that start list again, Ali Day from Surfers Paradise, the 3-time defending champion, Tannen Linden from Kurrawa, Finn Askew from Surfers Paradise, Wes Gould from Northcliffe, Ben Carberry, Burleigh Heads Mowbray Park, Charlie Verco from Newport, Charlie Morris from Allura, Callum Brennan from Currumbin, Jackson Borg from Newport, Trevor Hendy from Surfers Paradise, Zach King from Northcliffe, Will Savage from Burleigh Heads, Zale Outram from Sunshine Beach, Tex Dixon from Surfers Paradise, Ben Highfield from Surfers Paradise, and Samuel Frost from Burleigh Heads Mowbray Park as the starter gets them lined up and ready for a start in the first semi-finals. Ski, board, swim is the order, and the pace is going to be on.
Oh, it's going to be absolutely electric. Everyone wants to be in that top 16, not only in Australia, but this is in the world. And they've really, really got to make sure they really get away to a good start. We see a bit of backwash again happening out there, so you want to be on that ocean side of the backwash. And Ali Day's out there in number 1. I feel like he's in a good position, as we've seen after the double skis. That's definitely been their better side at the moment. But the swell and the conditions are changing throughout this whole day. And the start there looks pretty even at the moment, but still there's always a tiny bit of creeping.
And we are starting to see that at the moment. And they are away as a little bit of backwash starts to build as well. And it might have just thrown Tannen Linden sideways nearest the screen from Kurrawa as he starts to try and recover now. Out in front, Ben Carberry from Burleigh Heads Mowbray Park putting on the pace as Ali Day gets hit by a little wave in the lap. Now they are all out the back. Zach King from Northcliffe making a really strong start in the middle of the frame. And there's Ben Carberry starting to get to work now. They are our 2 leaders.
Yeah, certainly. I think it was pretty even that time going out there. And as Chrissy Munro said, Ben Carberry was looking very, very good. And there we see again that is Zach Morris. So he's been really, really on form at the moment. And Ali Day, he's on the outside at the moment. So he's got a little bit of work to do coming across. But definitely the field will start to settle down as we get closer to that first can. But everyone's certainly just lining themselves up. Ali Day putting himself in a very good position on the outside, but definitely up the front with Zach Morris and also Ben Carberry.
And there is no room being given as well. That was Charlie Verk on the orange ski from Newport being squeezed back as the pack came together. Ali Day on the outside getting his paddle stuck underneath Ben Carberry's ski. Jackson Borg fighting for every single stroke and getting popped out the pack. So this is really, really tough racing because everyone knows that they just need to do all that they can to book their place in Sunday's Ironman final. Out in front, it is Morris from Northcliffe in 1, Carberry in 2, with Ali Day in 3, and then it is very, very tight to be inside that top 8.
Yeah, it definitely is, and everyone wants to be there. It's as we see the competitors coming in now, they would have just relaxed a bit. The heart rate would have been certainly, I always know with the semi-final, your heart rate's really racing until you kind of get into your groove. And we've just seen a competitor, which is Tannen Linden, go off to the south side there. So as we talk about him being so good in the waves, he's definitely seen something. As we see all the competitors, oh, here we go, Sam, look at this.
Well, he's in the perfect place for it as well. All of those guys who did get squeezed out a little bit earlier are now right back on the lead wave as well. That is a big shake-up to this race. It looks as though they've got more than 12 of them on this wave. All of that hard work from our leaders has just been brought back to the pack, and the race starts once again.
Oh, it's really reset now, hasn't it? And unfortunately for the likes of Ben Carberry out the front there, Zach Morris, Ali Day, they worked so hard to get that lead, and now it's going to reset. But this is our sport. This is why we love it. It's always doing something different, and really smart from Zach Morris again. He's always up there first in transition. Ali Day not too far behind. You really want to set yourself up in this transition, because going off in the board, if you're coming from behind, it's definitely a lot harder to paddle through wash than being out in front.
Well, I was going to try and call the names as they come around, but you cannot even split them at the moment. It is incredibly tight after that opening leg. 14 paddlers were on that lead wave, and now it is Zach Morris who has a slight advantage after a really strong transition. We saw it yesterday in the surf team's final, the way he flew across that bank. He's just so fast in this kind of water.
Yeah, definitely coming into this, Aussies, just watching him in the round 1 and the quarterfinal iron, I felt he definitely looked the best out of the Ironman. I mean, certainly every race changes, but he's just so incredibly fast. And obviously the Morris brothers, they have great genetics, very naturally talented. But as we see there, it looks like TJ Hendy's doing really well there. We see Tannen Linden again, Ali Day. And we've just seen on the orange board there,
Charlie Verko, driven a long way back. He's one of the best board paddlers in the country, period, let alone in an Ironman field as well. But that was a really costly wave that just came and drove him back. He has a lot of work to do to catch back up. He might have slipped back about 10 metres from that field, but we know how good he is on the board. He can certainly do that. No problems for Zach Morris. He's out in front at the moment with quite a sizable lead. That really opened up across the bank.
It's really amazing, isn't it, how someone can put so many metres on the rest of the field, and that just shows. If you get off his ski first, get into that transition, and just work really hard across that bunny hopping. And he looks like he's doing it nice and easy. And Ali Day, he always finds a way to get himself in there, up the front. So I'm really impressed also with Tenon Linden as well, and we see Will Savage coming around there, but. Wow, I tell you what, the semi-final number 2, again, I reckon they're going to be feeling really nervous just watching that first ski wave come through. It
was a big call from Tanner Linden to pull wide like he did and really risk everything in terms of trying to get a clean run across that bank. But although a wave came to the rest of the field, he had some nice clean water as he paddled his way in. He could get off his ski cleanly and put in a strong transition. It's made a difference, and it also looks as though it put him the reverse order on the line between legs, put him in that rip that did look to help some of those competitors too. So we'll be keeping an eye out for that, not only in the swim leg to come, but also the next semi-final as well. So at the moment, it is Zach Morris out in front. We can see Askew, Gould, Dixon on screen there, TJ Hendy coming through, Jackson Borg, Charlie Verco, and there are some more waves starting to build on the way back out. So will this be the difference? Zach Morris doesn't want to wait to find out. He's doing everything he can to get down the front of this, and he's going to do that as well. That is a cracking wave and good reward for the way that he attacked the board leg on the way out.
That's exactly right. If you put yourself out there and you're hurt enough, I tell you what, it comes back, and he really deserved that. He really put the effort in nice and early, and you can see that he can relax now. I haven't said he's booked his ticket yet, but he's certainly on the way there now, and Ali Day as well worked really, really hard. And when you work really hard, you just get rewarded at some stage. It might not be this race, but it might be the next race. But here we go again. And that southern side didn't look like it had that stronger wave there. It was more the northern side through the middle there. So it's definitely, Ali will be feeling really good about that second wave. It's definitely, this is where the fight's on.
Well, that was a very important wave for Ali Day to get, because if he didn't get that, he was going to find himself back on that third wave that we can see now. There is 6 on it, and that wave of 6 is currently where our top 8 cutoff is. So Zach Morris is out in front. He's going to get a bit of clean water for him to swim, and he's going to run right into that rip as well. But now we're going to see the intensity start to climb. It is Day in 2, Askew in 3, Hendy in 4 now after that wave shook up proceedings once again. Carberry is 5, Linden not far behind him, and Christy Munro is down there on the sand as well. Christy, what a race.
Yeah, it's shaping up to be a fantastic semi-final. We saw that amazing wave of 13 after that first ski leg. The board has broken up the field a little bit with, as we've seen there, Zach and Ali doing that early hard work. So I don't think they'll switch off too much in this swim. There's a really aggressive chase pack up and waiting across that bank now. So, yeah, the race isn't over by any means at this stage.
Christy, it doesn't look like they're running too far to the south to try and get in that rip. What is it that the athletes are seeing at the moment on that line that they've taken?
They are still definitely running a little bit further down than I thought. We can see a couple of these back markers choosing to run straight into that shallower bank, which is where I thought a lot more of the athletes would have done so in the board and in this swim. So they're obviously thinking that rip is still working faster than they could run across. So we'll see how that fares as these back markers join them towards the rest of this swim race.
Thank you for your insights, Christy. We'll speak with you again soon. Zach Morris out in front with a very big lead. It was reward for his hard work in the board, and he's having a very strong start to the Aussies. He's now half a swim leg away to booking his place in Sunday's final.
Yes, Zach is certainly on fire at the moment. We've seen him as a gifted athlete, certainly, but not too far away is Ali Day. I saw Ben Carberry's really swimming very well at the moment, as we can see him just in third, and he's actually caught up a fair bit to Ali Day there in second. Finn Askew not too far behind as well, Tenon Linden. So all the names I'm saying right now, I feel like they've all been up the front in these quarterfinals and heats that we've been watching, and they're just, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 have just got a little gap on that 6 there, but I don't mind the gap that the back markers, as Christy said, went a bit out straight. I mean, if you've got a bit of distance behind, you need to catch back up. I feel like they've done the right thing and just cutting in there a little bit, but definitely on that south side, there was definitely some movement coming out, but Zach Morris definitely looking the goods, and he's in the spot you want to be right now.
Yeah, that's right. Plenty of clean water for Zach to swim in, and he's certainly making the most of that. You mentioned the lines being taken out to the can. Going to be very interesting to see what happens on the way back in, because it is going to be a roll of the dice for those who are outside that top 8. And although it didn't work on that board leg, we could see what it did on the ski leg when a wave did come in further to that bank. So it's going to be very interesting to see what progresses from there. So we're currently at about 8 there. We do believe that's our top 8. Tex Dixon currently in 8th from Surfers Paradise, with Verco, Hendy, Highfield and Wes Gould all trying to close them down as well. Will Savage, one of those swimmers from Burleigh Mowbray Park, a very strong swimmer. So this is going to be very, very tight coming into the closing stages, particularly if another wave comes through. It could be a sprint finish. Absolutely.
I was just looking at all those boys coming through there, and they're all phenomenal athletes. This is a very, very tough semi. I mean, in saying that, when you get to the Australian titles, every semi-final is tough, but there is a little gap behind. It was 10 and Linden, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So in 6th there at the moment. We did have Jackson Borg. Tex Dixon is in 8th spot at the moment, but TJ Hendy, Ben Highfield, the Surfers Paradise crew, there might be a bit of a sprint finish for them all, but that's exactly right. At the moment in surf sports, you do have to really work on your sprint finishes. You do have to be incredibly fast, and we see the likes of, Corey Fletcher. I know anyone who had his type of sprint finishing, you'd feel really confident about yourself, but you do need to work on it. You do need to be incredibly fast, and I feel like we're definitely going to come down to some sprint finishing in this semi-final number 1.
Our leader, Zach Morris from Northcliffe, certainly hoping he isn't involved in it. A little wave just starting to stand up, and not one that he's going to catch. Perhaps one further out as he starts to look over his shoulder. Again, this is the reason why he made sure he swam as hard as he could all the way around, because he didn't want to get caught with a wave breaking on top of his head, which, look, it could well start to happen for maybe our second chase pack. There's a wave for our leader, Zach Morris. He is going to be safe, but this is an interesting wave starting to stand up out the back as well. So Morris will be going through. He will win the semi-final number 1. Ali Day picks off that second wave with 4 more coming from behind. We will wait to see who did get down that. It looks like a Newport cap, which could have been that of Charlie Verco. After getting slammed on that board, he was swimming around just inside that top 8 after a very strong effort to the can, and that could be enough for him to book his place as we wait to see them stand up. Incredible body surfing caught all the way to the sand.
Yeah, that was fantastic. He definitely deserved that, coming through there and worked really hard. Might be also Jackson Borg there as well, and we saw Ben Carberry potentially could have just fallen off the back there, so he might be in for a bit of a sprinting as we see frantically the handlers just running on the shore. And here we go, Sam, this is where it's all at.
Well, now it's starting to stand up. We do believe we have 5 through. This could be our 8 here. Highfield is battling Charlie Verco, who has a stumble. Where's Ben Carberry? He was at the front of that semi-final right throughout, but he is now going to miss qualification to Sunday's final. That is a massive story here out of semi-final number 1. You could see the anguish on his face as he came across the line. He was sitting comfortably that entire semi, and that little wave that did pop up right at the end has cost him a place to race for the Australian title. A huge story.
Oh, our heart goes out to Ben Carberry. He certainly deserved to be in that final as well. Also for Benny, he'll know that the surf is picking up for Sunday. He's incredible in big swell too, well, in any surf, should I say that, but just as you said, Sam, that little wave, he was in 3rd the whole time. He just fell off the back of it. A few of the competitors behind him came through, and yeah, that's definitely absolutely heartbreaking, but Christy is down there and we'll see who she's with.
I'm down here with Charlie. He said, am I definitely in 8th? I counted you in 8th, so unofficially you are safe. Sorry, that's probably not super reassuring, but I'm 99% sure you are safe through from that semi-final. How was that swim?
Oh, swim is one of my weaker legs, so going into the pack with all those amazing swimmers was pretty scary, but I just knew I had to try and hold the feet, and I can trust my body surfing skills to get me through the end, and then it was a pretty exciting sprint finish with Ben there, so I guess we'll see.
It was very, very nerve-wracking for all of the spectators. I can only imagine how that felt, not really knowing exactly how many had already crossed the line, crossing the place there for the last qualifying for the final. What does it mean to be in the final of the Open Ironman come Sunday?
Like, it's what you train for. It's the end of the year, and it's the best Ironman in the world. So, being able to say you've made top 16 is pretty awesome. It's my second one ever, and I'm as excited as ever. I wasn't happy with my final race last year, so I've got something to prove on Sunday.
Absolutely do. You can build that momentum. I'll let you get your breath, go and have a chat to your handler, get those official results. But we are very, very excited to watch you on Sunday.
Thank you so much. Have a good one.
Thank you, Christy, and congratulations to Charlie Verco, who does sneak into the final in 8th place after making the move north to Newport, picking up his life, and literally moving to Sydney's northern beaches. He's been rewarded for it. That top 8 to go through was Zach Morris from Northcliffe, Jackson Borg from Newport, Ali Day from Surfers, Tanner Linden from Currawurt, Finn Askew from Surfers, Sam Frost from Burleigh Heads Mowbray Park, Ben Highfield from Surfers Paradise, and Charlie Verco from Newport was in 8th. Tex Dixon 9th, Ben Carberry 10th. Just outside of the bubble. That is a big result, but now there is no time to wait because semi-final number 2 is in the water. Noah Steiner from Wanda, Williams, Alex Headland, Brooks from Newport, Finesse from Cronulla, Monaghan from Maroochydore, Murphy from Burleigh Heads, Kai Taylor from Burleigh Heads, Bevilacqua from Northcliffe, Kinsella from Tugun, Louis from Manly, Green from North Burleigh, Riley from Burleigh Heads, Collins from Northcliffe, Collins from Redhead, Zach King from Burleigh Heads, and Fletcher from Burleigh Heads Mowbray Park. Plenty of speed in this field as expected in semi-final number 2 of the Australian Championships Open Ironman.
Yeah, just looking on the screen at all the backwash coming through, and that's why the competitors, they look a little bit uncomfortable trying to hold their skis. And you see Kendrick Lewis on screen just emptying a bit of water out. But this backwash here, it's coming through. It's probably a little bit more stronger, I'd say, on this northern side, but it's very hard for the starter to not only look at the backwash, but also the swell coming through. And our Czech starter there getting a little bit smashed trying to get that started, but we've got Noah Steiner, he's on number 1, closest to screen here. He actually won the New South Wales Open Ironman just recently, so he's in very, very good form at the moment. Here we are, Sam. We're off for a start for the Open Ironman semi number 2, and welcome if you were just checking out. It's definitely been an action-packed morning so far.
And a flying start from Matt Bevilacqua in the centre of the screen as well from Northcliffe. Joe Collins now gets to work on the far side of screen. Corey Fletcher on the yellow ski, while Noah Steiner also getting off the mark. Nice and strong as a little wave comes through and clips some of our back markers in that pack. Now they start to settle into a rhythm and get into their work as they approach that first can out the back.
And you know that Matt Bevilacqua will certainly be out there nice and fast because he's had a couple of scares over this Aussies with the Ironman. He wants to be in that final. He wants to win this final. And Joe Collins, he's been so good this whole season. Himself and Zach Morris have just been the fastest starters every single ski start, so he'll make sure he's up there. And as we spoke about before, Noah Steiner, he's been leading away for the New South Wales crew. And Kendrick Lewis also, he's been looking really, really good. I know he's someone who'd probably like a bit more swell as there has been, but certainly he's not letting that worry him at the moment.
And they all get around reasonably clean as well. A bit of room being given, which does make sense because the faster that everyone around you can get around, you will as well. There are some paddles being hit a little bit further back. Corey Fletcher on that yellow ski sneaking up the inside. Daniel Collins from Redhead is behind him at the moment. He did get clipped as he went around. But it's Joe Collins out in front at the moment. Louis in 2, Steiner in 3, and Charlie Brooks nearest to screen is on the outside of the pack. Matt Bevilacqua now starting to get to his work, but that wind has swung as well. It is now onshore wind. It's giving the paddlers a little bit more to chase on the way back in, and that is what we saw from Joe Collins there. A run that took him well out in front.
Yeah, he's taken that southern side again. He's followed Ten and Linden out there, but there is a few waves coming about the back there. But these boys in front, if they can push really hard, they'll just get a nice little wave to bring them in. And Joe Collins certainly has got. I tell you what, it's not too big. It's only very small, but it'll just be enough to give himself that gap between that second crew coming through.
And they'd want to keep paddling because a wave has picked up the next 6 athletes as well. So we currently have 11 towards the front of that field. Noah Steiner just caught in no man's land there a little bit. Charlie Brooks drops down the face and gets to have a rest with Joe Collins choosing to sit on top. Very tight after this opening leg. It will be Kendrick Louis who is going to stand up first and get stuck into his work. Matt Bevilacqua is in 2. Louis having a great season after falling off the Nutri-Grain last year. He has been back to his best this season. He currently leads the semi-final at the Aussies.
Yeah, out in front. He has won the Australian titles before. It was over in WA, but he'll certainly be after another one. Also, Matt Bevilacqua chasing his maiden title. And a lot of these boys here as well, you've got your Joe Collins. Dan Collins, he's put himself in a very good position. We know how fast he can swim, and Joe Collins a little bit further back there, but it's all depending also where you run down to where your board is. So we noticed that Joe Collins had to come a long way to the north to grab his board when you've got a few of the other competitors that had to run straight down at the pole. But that's where moving into this, you've got to go, okay, am I number 1 or number 16? It means I've got to run extra hard in that transition give myself and scoop up those couple of extra metres that I'll lose.
And just like the last semi-final, we did see all of the field try and get stuck into that rip on the board and try and get as much assistance as they can. Little waves now starting to break. It's going to hit Matt Bevilacqua on the lap, and he comes off his board. And although he's on quite quickly, that is a very rare thing to see from Matt Bevilacqua.
I think it is the Australian. Whenever anyone hears Australian title, semi-final, Ironman, Ironwoman, I feel like the nerves just jump up a bit, and I feel like the scare that Bevy's had over this week, there might be a few little extra nerves, so mistakes that you'd never see him do, but we're hoping he gets to that final. If he does get to the final, that's when you just got to lay it all on the line. But the boys behind here, Kendrick looks very good at the moment. He's got to get moving, but because he's got some fast boys coming behind, and when you are after that chase pack, and you can see out in front is where you really, you've got a goal with Kendrick being out in front. He doesn't know the pace behind, but it's certainly very quick.
So Kendrick Louis is currently our leader in this second semi-final, halfway through the race. Matt Bevilacqua is in 2. Corey Fletcher has made a move up the inside to be in 3. Joe Collins in 4. Noah Steiner and Daniel Collins are even as they turn that can, and now the rest of the pack is starting to catch up. So it's getting increasingly hard to call at the moment as that battle for the top 8 really starts to heat up.
Yeah, they've really, even though there was three separate waves between everyone, you now see at the moment they've really bunched in and going around that second string can, there's about 6 of them all together. So Kendrick Lewis and Matt Bevilacqua are definitely setting themselves up very, very well. I just saw Joe Collins just had a little sneaky look behind. I feel like he's going to go slightly off to the south again. Dan Collins set himself. Noah Steiner's been there the whole way. Charlie Brooks has also been there, and there's just so many names to call. They're all phenomenal athletes.
Yeah, that's right. You can see Daniel Collins making a strong move around the outside. This is a big opportunity for our leaders if they can make something of this. Corey Fletcher pulling into his own water. Kendrick Louis won't get down it, but perhaps there are more waves starting to stand up out the back as that ocean continues to change in appearance. That wind is starting to pick up, and there is more bump on the ocean as well, Courtney.
Yeah, I was just going to mention that, Sam. It's so much bumpier than what we saw for even semi-final number 1, but also for the double skis. It was really, really smooth, a bit choppy. You want to get down this wave. Corey Fletcher's doing that very, very well. Joe Collins is pushing down, trying to milk it, and that's devastating when you can't get it. We've got 3. We've only got 2 potentially. Kendrick Lewis, Matt Bevilacqua, potentially Corey Fletcher just out of screen at the moment.
Yeah, that's right. Well, Corey Fletcher's come off the back of that wave. So too did Daniel Collins. He did all the hard work, but his nose just couldn't quite drop down it. And now he finds himself back on a wave for an even share of 3rd. And again, that is where our top 8 currently lies. So there's 2 out in front. That's Matt Bevilacqua and Kendrick Louis, 2 of the most experienced athletes in the field, certainly showing that at the moment. 6 on the second wave, and that is where our top 8 is heading into this final swim leg.
Oh, it's going to be so tough. You've just got an extra one coming on there, so there's going to be 7, 8 in that pack at the moment. So 2 of those boys are going to miss out, but we'll throw down to Christy. She's in there with all the action.
Thanks, Courts. You're exactly right. This is the chase pack of 8 just rounding transition. You might be able to hear the screams from the handlers, just letting them know you've got 2 to beat out of this pack. With the chase pack really not too far behind. We've got some amazing swimmers, Kai Kinsella running around here now, so still some very, very strong swimmers in this second chase pack. We've got 1 competitor choosing to go to the bank. Everyone else has opted still to dive into that rip. And you're right, we've had a real conditions change just as this semi-final has started. The wind has picked up and that rip has really started to work now.
Yeah, thank you, Christy. That competitor was Jay Finesse from Cronulla, a very experienced competitor, a very strong swimmer, Jay. He's chose to back his legs, which is somewhat of a big call because he was right in that pack for the top 8. Courtney, it's brave racing to go out on your own like this. Yeah,
it certainly is. He was right in that pack there, and we'll see how he ends up if that does anything. But Kendrick Lewis is just having to swim back a bit, so I think maybe potentially going a little bit straighter out could actually be not a bad idea, as we actually just see one of the Northcliffe competitors, which is Joe Collins, taking a little bit more kind of shorter line out there. And Dan, I have to say, Dan Collins is swimming very, very well. He's so strong. He'd be loving this long swim, and you saw his face coming around that transition, a lot of confidence. But for these boys out in front in that top 8, they have to get moving because you've got the likes of Kai Kinsella not too far behind.
Gee, Daniel Collins has swam himself into clear second after already cutting down that wave gap. Matt Bevilacqua falls back to third, as you see Charlie Brooks as well start to make a bit of a move. We also saw Cooper Williams pop up for the first time in this race as well. He was on that second wave too, which has now been well and truly shaken up. So you did call it, Courtney. They're going to have to swim a long way back. And there's Jay Finesse, followed by Kai Kinsella. Kai always has a great read on the conditions, so you know that if you've got someone like Kai on your feet, maybe you have made the right call. And Jay now comes onto Dan Collins' feet, so the gamble does pay off.
I'm not surprised they went that way. They were going a little bit, and as you actually mentioned that before, Sam, you were very surprised why a few of them ran south, but they would have been looking on for semi-final number one, and we did have a few competitors they did actually go fairly straight. And for Jay Finesse and Kai Kinsella, you're right, Kai Kinsella, if I was out there racing, I'd always follow him and go. He always picks the right line, but you'll see the boys, you just see Matt Bevilacqua, you could see his eyes just open and went, where did you come from? And that's how the boys would be thinking. So for anyone who's in 8th at the moment, they've now got a +2 in front of them.
Well, Matt Bevilacqua is not in danger just yet, but he's gone from 1st to 5th in this swim leg at the moment and still looking very strong. But after what we did see unfold in that first semi-final with Ben Carberry, the big casualty after sitting at the front of that race right throughout, then I think all of these swimmers are going to be on edge. That string of 9 now starting to separate the field. It's Kendrick Louis in 1, Daniel Collins right on his heels with Jay Finesse in 3. Kai Kinsella is in 4th, Matt Bevilacqua on his feet as he starts to sneak around the inside in 5th place, and we will try and pick up the rest of the caps there. It could be Charlie Brooks in 6th. We do know that that is Cooper Williams in 7th. We have another Northcliffe cap. I think that is Joe Collins. Yes, it's Joe Collins in 7th as well. So Cooper Williams is currently the cutoff. He is in the yellow and black quartered cap, and it does look like there is a very, very slight gap back to 9th place.
No one is safe at the moment. Having Cooper Williams coming through too, we know how strong he swims. He's been runner-up in the Australian Tires Ironman 2 times in a row, so he knows how to race these Aussies, and look at him coming through. And not only that, he's also a very quick runner as well. So if there's going to be a sprint finish, all these boys are very fast, and you also throw in Corey Fletcher as well, and it's definitely going to be a hot field racing through. But Kendrick Lewis looking the goods at the moment. Dan Collins has just had a phenomenal swim. He's been incredible. And also Kai Kinsella and Cooper Williams I have to throw in there. And Joe Collins, he's coming in there. He's sitting himself definitely not in the safe zone. He's just on the edge at the moment.
So a wave stands up for our 2 leaders. Kendrick Louis and Daniel Collins drop down the face, and if they can hold this wave all the way to the beach, that will be them sorted. And of course it looks to be Kai Kinsella on the left-hand side of the screen. One of the great body surfers in the sport has swam his way through the field, and we believe into the Ironman final for Sunday. This is our top 8 cutoff at the moment, and not much of a wave is starting to stand up. Some will get down it, but Cooper Williams comes off the back. So we have Finesse, Collins, Bevilacqua, and Charlie Brooks from Newport, we do believe at the moment, inside that wave and moving their way to being into Sunday's final as well. That leaves the door open for one more to come through, Courtney.
Oh, it did, and Dan Collins, well deserved. And you can see the boys, all the handlers are running them in there, but all these boys on screen right now, there was 5 on the wave. You could see their bodies stiff as a board. They knew they had to be on that body surfing wave. If they weren't on it, you were seeing top 8 coming in now. We've had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's 8, and I think that will be coming through. It is potentially...
I do believe that could be one of our Burleigh Heads Murray Park competitors. We did have so many in. Sean Riley making his way into that final. To plenty of celebration as well. So that means that Corey Fletcher, the man we see on screen at the moment, is going to miss the cut. He also was right at the front in those craft legs. But again, the swim to shaking things up. Noah Steiner, the New South Wales champion, missing out as well.
Oh, it's heartbreaking down there, and Christy would definitely be there feeling all the feels, and you can see Corey just devastated there, and he'll have to catch up with obviously Ben Carberry and have a debrief after that, because it's just it's absolutely gut wrenching. And we can see Christy down there. She might have Kai Kinsella, who is always impressive, isn't he, on those waves? If you see a body surfing wave, he will always be on it. But you can see every coming through. Jay Finesse, that was very, very smart by him.
What a performance from Jay Finesse.
Oh, it was phenomenal, wasn't it? I love how competitors, they have a line, they go for it. They're not a sheep, they don't follow, and it definitely paid off. So we'll throw down to Christy. She could have Kai Kinsella with her down there.
I do, Courts. I'm here with Kai Kinsella. I couldn't pass up this interview. I called you out in that sort of, I guess, the second pack going into the swim leg there. I could see you picked a different line out, and we never want to second guess your choices. They always seem to be the best ones.
Oh, well, it wasn't yesterday in the swim semi. I made the wrong call and didn't make it through, so that was my main focus today, was make sure I did the right thing. But I actually saw Jay Finesse go in on that bank before me, and I was like, if he's doing it, I'm gonna give it a go, and it worked out.
It certainly did work out. You clawed back probably 10 spots in that swim, at least, maybe a few more, and so I think all eyes will be on you and potentially your tactics coming into this final. How's the season been? How's the preparation been? How are you feeling going into Sunday?
Oh, it's been easily my best season ever, and which is surprising because I feel like I've cut it back and just relaxed into it more, and I think that's really just suited me, is just trying to have fun with it and not take it too seriously.
You certainly do look like one of the most relaxed competitors down here, and I agree. I think that suits your racing style, just keeping that cool head. You never seem to be phased no matter what position you are, and you always seem to just get in that right position coming across the line. How much is left in your program?
Well, I've got Taplin and ski relay today, so we'll see how me and the boys go.
Well, I'll let you go and recover. Congratulations, you're through to the Iron Final on Sunday.
Thank you very much.
Well, thank you so much, Christy, and thank you so much to Kai Kinsella as well. And that was the last of that second semi for the Open Men's Final. So we'll give you that final list in a second, but here we are on the line, the Open Female Double Final, and I'm just joined with my roomie, Jenny Parry.
Hello.
Hello, welcome.
Oh, I feel like I've come in at a great time now. We've had 3 semi-finals for the female double ski already this morning. Josh Minogue doing a great job keeping the beach informed down there. And here we are. We can see closest to us. That is the Newport Team A, one to watch on the far right-hand side of the field. This is going to be tough. That's Lizzie Wellborn, Gemma Smith. Let's see if the girls can get away well.
And we were just talking about before just how the conditions have changed so much. It was nice and smooth this morning, but now we're off, and here we have out in front, that looks like it could be Northcliffe, it could be Danielle McKenzie, Georgia Miller. Who have we got there, Jen?
Yeah, that's Danielle and Georgia. Can you believe that they're actually the Northcliffe B team? They're looking fantastic. Wonderful to have Danielle McKenzie flying in for Aussies. She hasn't had the carnival she wanted so far. She'd be determined to make a great start here, but now it looks like the field has caught them down. Is that Noosa in the middle of the field?
That does look like potentially it could be Noosa out there as well, and obviously we have on the south side, we've got the Newport team. We've got Hannah Minogue, Jasmine Locke. We saw Jasmine Locke just took out a win in the mixed double early this morning. Then we've also got Lizzie Wellborn and Gemma Smith. Gemma Smith's picked up the second, so Newport always going to be very, very strong. But they're getting closer to that first turning can, and we know in those double skis how big the boats are and how much this is going to, I guess, impact the end result.
Oh, I just love watching the girls manoeuvre this huge craft around the beach. They will have to go around 3 cans. And as we said, the girls have already done their qualifying race earlier today in this same arena, so they know what the conditions are like. They've been out there, but the pressure always rises for a final, and it is the team from Northcliffe. They are on the white ski with the red tip up front, but have a look at Newport, determined to get in on that inside line. There are actually 2 Newport teams just inside of Northcliffe. This is where it gets interesting. Will they be able to push that team a little bit wider? Excited to see if Noosa heads, the team there of Jordan Mercer and former Coolangatta gold champ Carla Papak could get on the podium.
Yeah, that's a very strong team. Those 2 names you just said there. And the Newport team just know how much they've got to work so hard to get on that inside. And it looks like Lizzie Wellborn and Gemma Smith have done just that to be in second place right now. And we've still got Danielle McKenzie and Georgia Miller out in front, a very, very strong team. Obviously, having the past of being Iron Women, they've got that fitness coming through, but Lizzie Wellborn and Gemma Smith on the front there, she really knows how to race, being a kayaker at heart, and also Hannah Minogue and Jasmine Locke kayakers as well, but they're really stretching out, and because, Jen, the conditions have changed so much with the wind, the girls can really now milk and work those runners coming in.
Absolutely, and if you've got Danny McKenzie on the front of your ski setting the pace out there, Georgia Miller, obviously an incredible athlete in her own right. She just needs to stay in time and keep up as the girls hit some deeper water. And here comes Newport. We've got Gemma Smith, Lizzie Wellborn, Team A, Hannah Minogue, Jasmine Locke, Team B. Newport so strong in the doubles. We saw them do incredible things on the first day of comp. Could they add a women's gold medal, an Australian championship to the tally right now?
Well, they're certainly looking very good to actually get 2 medals in that top three of it, whether it's a gold, silver or a bronze. And we just see now that first runner, we've got Danielle, and we've also got Georgia, Gemma and Lizzie coming down. And Gemma said this morning she wanted to take the southern side. She's done that as well. So we are now looking into, look, it just looks like Lizzie Wellborn and Gemma Smith may come down that last little runner coming through.
And if they get this double up as well, that's going to give them a little bit more momentum to the line. They're not there yet. Northcliffe are not out of this either. The two girls, the two teams, you can see Gemma Smith grits the teeth as they come down. They want to get over the next one. It could be advantage Northcliffe right now. I think Northcliffe at the line at the moment, but Courtney, this is going to be a great finish.
Definitely. I think just then, that was so tight. We were holding our breaths here in the booth, but it looked like just Gemma Smith and Lizzie Wellborn just going through side there. And as we see on screen, that was so close. It could have been, we saw Sorrento on this side or potentially over the other side. It might have been Clifton Beach there, so we'll have to wait for those results. But just at the end there, Gemma Smith and Lizzie Wellborn, they had the opportunity to get that front runner going off to the side. It was then you see Danielle McKenzie and Georgia Miller. Hugs all round their celebration. They look very, very happy.
Yep, I love a skip up the beach. Georgia Miller doing an incredible job. I really want to know who that team was on the far northern edge there. They snuck through for a bronze medal. We actually weren't calling them on the way home, but they picked their line absolutely brilliantly, and that is what we want to see. We're madly refreshing live heats to find out the results, but Christy, you're down on the beach with all the excitement.
I'm down here, Jen. So exciting. Just having a chat here with our winners, female double ski, unofficial winners, but look like you guys got it from where we were standing. G, you've just said that's your first time in the women's double at Aussie.
Yeah, my first time, and I mean, what better person to do it with? DMAC is such an incredible paddler, and when she said she wanted to do it with me, I jumped at the opportunity. So stoked she's here, and she's had a really tough couple of months, so this one really means a lot, and I'm just so happy she's here.
We're so stoked to see you two back on our beach, DMAC. We've missed you this summer. We know you've been working hard, and obviously the rewards have shown out there on the water.
Yeah, I'm not sure about working hard the last few weeks, but honestly, it's so motivating to do team races. I love putting on the BMD Northcliffe cap. I'm super honoured that they gave me the call and told me to come and race. And yeah, to get races like these, especially with awesome people like Georgia, are super incredible and really, really pumped.
I know you've come off the back of a massive kayaking season, and you mentioned you've had a bit of a deload the last couple of weeks, but the years and years of training is what it's all about, and these gold medals at Aussies never get old, do they?
Oh, absolutely, and I think you appreciate them more the older you get. You don't get as many, and so yeah, we're really, really happy, and all the best to everyone else on the beach.
And Georgia, you've still got a lot of finals coming up later on today and over the weekend, but how special was that?
Oh, what a start to the finals program, right? Yeah, 2 days and we haven't raced a final in our women's area, so to get it started like that is awesome, and I really hope like our whole BMD Northcliffe GON can really rally and we can get it done. And I just have so much faith in all the girls from BMD Northcliffe. We train so hard, and we all just want to do it for each other, so it's really special to be a part of.
You've definitely set the excitement going on the beach. I know there's a lot of teammates who are wanting to come down to congratulate you. I'll let you go and enjoy the moment.
Awesome, thanks.
Oh, Courtney, what a day. And here we are back on screen. It's wonderful to be here in the booth. The Facebook live stream will be in action all the time, 8 o'clock every morning. And we also went to the beach sprints yesterday afternoon just for something a little bit different. So a huge congratulations as we see the girls of Northcliffe the Gong celebrating a big win down there. But Courtney, it's been a big morning of action already. We've had some incredible scenes, some highs, some lows, some joy and some heartbreak already, and it's only 9:40 on Friday morning.
That is unbelievable. As we go off for our highlights, just look how fast the girls, so strong and powerful. And we just saw, Georgia Miller and obviously Danielle McKenzie. Denny being out in front there, being so experienced. She's won so many gold medals in the Australian titles in the ski arena, and she they just really took it, didn't they, right from that gun. And you certainly saw the Newport crew not too far away, but I love the way, I guess, in surf life saving the females on the skis. We haven't been doing it for too long. I think it was the late 90s that we only really started. So, and speaking about skis, we're actually moving on, Jen, now to the under-19s female double ski final.
Yeah, a great morning, and I feel like now is the perfect time to recognise on this finish that we are about to see. It was the team of Southport who got the bronze medal in the doubles here, Chelsea Gents and Brodie Trinker. Now, we know Brodie as a board paddler, as an incredible belt swimmer. She is now a bronze medalist alongside Chelsea Gents in the open female double ski, and you're about to see them come through. So that is one, that is two. We're about to see them come through on the very top end of your screen. What a finish. We weren't expecting this, but Southport, the girls get it done.
They did so well, and they even were going so hard then they actually weren't in sync. They were just like, girls, let's just get here, let's just get it done. And I know Brodie and Chelsea would be so happy, as well as Georgia and Denny. I'm sure there are going to be some beautiful shots of those two hugging on screen, because Denny actually wasn't even going to be at this Australian titles, being over in the New Zealand kayaking. So for her to be here, and you know, they've kind of been thrown together there, it's amazing what they've done. But yeah, Jen, so many finals coming up, and I'm just looking through the mix here, and it's it's a wonderful, it's day 3 of Aussies, and we're just right into it.
And having a look at that reworked program, I saw Naomi Scott on the beach earlier today, and she said, yes, it might have looked like a fairly quiet first few days, but today it is Teams Day. She has so many races with the girls of Northcliffe, and I think that would be a story that is echoed right across the beach as we see the under-19 female double ski just bringing their craft down to the line. And Courtney, one of the big races of the day was the semi-final for those open Ironmen, and we know that the semi-finals are often worse to race than the finals because you need to get there, and we did see a few hard luck stories there. So this would be a wonderful time to confirm that our open Ironman final for Sunday will be Cooper Williams of Alexandra Headland, Daniel Collins of Redhead, Joe Collins of Northcliffe, Charlie Brooks from Newport, Ali Day, the defending champ from Surfers Paradise, Matt Bevilacqua is through, Kai Kinsella, who we spoke to earlier from Tugun, Tannen Linden, Karawa, Samuel Frost makes it through from Burleigh Head, Zach Morris looked amazing in his semi-final from Northcliffe, Jay Finesse is in there, the former Aussie Open board champ from Cronulla, and a former champ also in Kendrick Louis, Ben Highfield from Surfers Paradise, teammate Finn Askew, and then rounding out the field we have Charlie Verco and Jackson Ward from Newport. So 3 from Newport, 3 from Surfers Paradise, 3 from Northcliffe in the mix as well. But wonderful to see so many different caps in this final. And tell you what, there's another 10 boys that were so close to making that final. It was a tough day at the office.
When you look at the names there, it's not many, is it? You don't scroll down. It's such an honour to make an Australian title, like, let alone get a medal, but to make an Australian final, it's incredible. Looking at those names, there's not many, and so many names have missed out. And I know it'll be a hard one for everyone to watch on Sunday for those men and women that have missed out, but there's a few rookies that have made it.
Love that.
And I know that's going to absolutely make their whole year and give them a lot of confidence moving forward into next season. But we have a look on screen now. We're back to the skis.
Yep, the female doubles lining up next. We'll bring you those lists in just a moment. But as I clear out a few live heats tabs, we do want to give another congratulations. Chloe Mannix Power took out the Open Women's Beach Sprint under lights last night at Mooloolaba. Absolutely dominant. She was so impressive. And Michael Hanna of Allura took the gold in the men's race. So it was a big night of action at Mooloolaba. The officials did an incredible job really flying through that program. Beach sprints, beach relays are this afternoon, and then flags will be on Saturday night as well. And then we come back here for the big day, the finals day. But for now, let's have a look at our ladies in the under-19 female double ski. We have Terrigal Team B on the far left-hand side of the screen. Southport, North Burleigh, Southport from South Australia, Maroochydore, Dicky Beach, Trigg Island, North Curl, Avoca, North Bondi, Terrigal, Clifton Beach, great to see the Tassies in there, Mornington, Burnie, Burleigh Heads, Mowbray Park and Southport, Manly, Newport. What a field, and some of the girls, a little bit of drama early.
What a field and what a start, Jen. Look at this, and you've not only got one ski paddle, you've got your 2 ski paddlers, so you've got a lot of paddles in the air chopping around, and we've seen 3 teams out in front. It could be Burleigh, Mowbray Parks that have really got the clear, but on screen, oh, this is devastating. It's not how Trigg Island there, it's not how you want to start your campaign for your first final of the Australian titles.
And Courtney, really tough as well. If the girls do fall off the ski and all of a sudden you're on the side where you're not used to getting back on the ski, that is really difficult as well. I think I saw one of the girls duck under earlier to get back on her preferred side. And unfortunately, the more time that you take in these early stages, our leaders who are already nearly in the dark green water, they have bolted.
Oh, when that happens, yes, on the opposite side, it's the hardest thing in the world because you never practice that, which we probably should in saying that, but legs everywhere, paddles everywhere, skis everywhere. But out in front before, we saw Newport so strong. They've had such a great campaign of Aussies so far. And we saw Burleigh out there as well. It might have been, we also saw Terrigal. They look like they're on this northern side. And we can again see that wind really flipping up. And I keep bringing that up because it's just the way that it changes, you know, being the smooth this morning. But It's actually coming from the east, so we'll certainly see the runners, and that's unfortunately that's going to be the issue for those back markers that got hit. When you're on a double ski and you turn around and you're coming in, there's just that if you're out in front, you get so much of that runners. I have to actually mention Southport up the front as well, doing very well.
And not to be confused with Southport from South Australia, that is Southport of Queensland. That is the navy blue cap with the yellow dot on front. The girls inspired by that bronze medal in the open event, and they've got a nice little lead. No dramas for them around the cans. Lots of teams in the mix here. And I do love that this is quite a full field. You probably wouldn't normally see this many ladies in a race, but I love and I respect that the officials have thrown a few extra in there. We've taken it immediately to semi-final. The top 8 will go through to the final, which will also happen today. So a shout out to our officials doing a great job, knowing how big the program is today, knowing how many races we need to get through. And these girls are making the most of it. Southport extending their lead. Newport still in 2, and I believe that's one of our Terrigal teams currently in 3rd.
And how wonderful is this, Jen? Chelsea Gents and Morgan Trinker. So Chelsea Gents just got the bronze in the open, so she's still only under 19, 18 years old. She went with Brodie Trinker. Now she's she would have run from this water area to the next water area, and then she pops on the ski now with Morgan Trinker, her sister. So she's very popular in the Trinker family. You would think there, well, she's probably now part of the family, but they are doing very, very well out in front. You've got the Newp there out in front at the moment. They're doing very well, and then you've got Newport not too behind. Terrigal girls, we still call them the Terry girls. The Terry gals coming through there, and it potentially might be Swansea Belmont as well. So this race is still up and up for grabs.
Absolutely, top 8 through, and we've got two teams from the Terry gals in the mix here. So Violet Gates and Charlie McDonald are the A team. Team B is Sky Hatchell and Elizabeth Shearer. So for those 4 Terry gals in the mix, wonderful to see them making the most of it. Hopefully we can get at least one more team in there, but it looks to be a Southport. And I really, really love that Chelsea Gents and Morgan Trinker get a little bit of a rest now as they head through. It's been a big morning already for the double skis.
Oh, it certainly has, and she has to be so fit to rock it up, and now to have to then get through this one and go on to the next race after that. So she's doing very, very well, and she'll have I know she did the Ironwoman, the board, so it doesn't stop at the skis. But here we go, Jen. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 coming through now on screen, and we'll just wait for the couple more coming through. But the girls handled that so well, because it's certainly not easy.
Absolutely, we can see, I think this is one of the best areas for the double skis this morning. There are definitely some sets still coming through, but we haven't seen quite I want to say how heavy it's been on that back rank. And we can see here we have got North Bondi, that's the team of Lexi Tate and Anna Wilkinson coming through, and we are refreshing liveheats.com to find out who is in the top 8. If you want to keep an eye on the draws and on the results for every event this weekend, it's liveheats.com and search for SLSA, and that's where you'll find all of the information. And of course the club's doing a great job, and Surf Life Saving Australia, I'm loving the content that they are putting out each day, and I love the content that Christy Munro puts out as well. Christy, how's things on the beach?
Thanks, Jen. Yes, and we've got some tired athletes, but you've got one more final in you. I know you've just come out of the open final, bronze medal. You pumped now for the 19s?
Yeah, definitely. We won it last year, so got a little bit of pressure, but just very excited to see what we can do.
Well, you looked fantastic in that semi-final. Stayed out. There's a little bit of trouble with some of the back markers behind you, so is the aim just to get a clear start and get out in front?
Yeah, honestly, and just get around that can nicely so we're not banging paddles, and yeah, that's the best you can ask for, but yeah, we'll just see how we go. Happy to be in it.
A little bit of an advantage possibly being in that first semi. I know it's going to be a really quick try to get your body ready to race.
We'll go out for a recovery swim, have some water, a little bit of Powerade, and get back on the line ready.
Well, I won't keep you. I'll let you get your official results and get reset for the final. All the best of luck.
Thank you.
Fantastic work there, the team from Southport, and we can confirm it was Terrigal's Team B, Newport Team A, Burleigh Heads, Avoca, Clifton, Manly and North Bondi all in the final. What a lineup. One more semi-final to go, but Courtney, this is where we had some early drama.
This is where the action, the thrills and spills, as you can see on screen at the moment, and as we said before, it's just so hard when it's not only you on the ski, you've actually got your buddy as well, whether they're at the front or back, and that's where a lot of the teams missed out. But Jen, we move into semi-final number 2, and again, looking very strong as we go through that start list.
Absolutely. We've got two teams from Alexandra Headlands on the far right-hand side of your screen at the moment. Sorrento, the bright green caps. Brighton from South Australia, Jan Jack, Trigg, Northcliffe, Burnie, Manly, Alex Team B, all the Alex crews are in this one. Morty Alec, Red, Trigg, Burnie, Southport, South Australia, Clifton, Mentone, Northcliffe, Dickey Beach and Newport. And if it felt like I was reading a lot of names, that is correct. We have a stacked heat, and I love that we are going straight to semi-finals here, the officials and the athletes working together to really push this program through. But have a look, as expected, Northcliffe, I think that could be their A team in the middle of the field. Alyssa Bailey and Emerson Hardy, what a start.
Yeah, they are off to a very good start, and we know the Bailey sisters, they're very, very good going into kayaking as well. But I feel like going into this, looking forward to getting into the final. I won't hopefully do the commentator's curse on them, but Olivia Clues and Pippi Tapena, you'd think that would definitely be the favourites going into this. They've had a lot of experience right up in that Ironwoman going into the Opens, and see, obviously A and C over that northern side, so they're also working very well as well, and they would know this beach so well, being not too far where the boaties are at the moment.
And as Christy mentioned earlier, I think they've been doing a few sneaky sessions down at Maroochydore over the past few weeks. And why wouldn't you? If you can take advantage of your location and the conditions, that's a smart move there. I can see Anastasia Huey and Dakota Luke just off screen there. Dakota's had a very up and down Aussies, but she performs when it matters. So looking forward to seeing what Dakota and Anastasia from Dickey Beach Team A can put together. And just taking a look at the start list, the other Northcliffe crew, a very international flavour with Michaela Pocock and Elise Dordignon in there for Northcliffe Team B. So welcome Elise and Michaela, two Aussies.
Welcome.
Here we go.
That
Here
is
we go.
indeed. Absolutely, we are. It's all
Jack.
Look,
Jack.
and you know what, Jan Jack, they would love the swell because it's always big down in that area. I remember racing an interstate there many years ago, and it was fantastic. It was so much fun, but I feel like we've got on the inside there, just making their way through, Olivia Clues and Pippi Tapena. I reckon we'll see them, if they're getting through to the final, which they're looking the goods at the moment. I think you'll definitely see their rating a lot quicker than that. And they've just snuck through on that inside, but the girls are doing very, very well. These skis are so hard. As I just said, that
paddles
Jan
everywhere.
Jack and Newport going head to toe with that and clinging paddles everywhere.
Alexis, Jane and Lani Steele, they've actually had to be putting their paddles on the other side of the Northcliffe Cruise ski. That is how tight it is out there. Newport determined to jam their way up there on the inside. And the big winners in that were Trigg Island, Samantha Brigden and Zoe Moore, completely out of the danger there. They stayed wide. Great decision from the team from Trigg as Northcliffe just gets further and further away. And now it looks like another team battling with Newport on the inside. I would like to get a microphone on the can out the
Yes.
back, but maybe that is not the best decision here. And it looks like we have two teams. No, Northcliffe saying that we're going to let that one go. Could be a good decision, however, a few waves and a few more teams coming through behind.
Alyssa Bailey being on the front of that Northcliffe A team out in front at the moment. I think that was really, really smart. And we've got the Alex team, it looks like, also on that northern side, left hand of the screen there. But I think that's a really smart idea. Look, it's the semi-final. They want to book their ticket into the final, so there's no need to go down a wave yet. And so that is actually... we've got Olivia Clues and Pippi Tapena. They just also pop the legs over to the side. That slows the ski down, and that's exactly what we were talking about. Unfortunately, these girls, and it's not a single ski where you can just manoeuvre it around by itself. It's so difficult to get that straight. But these girls are going to have to really be quick. And the Northcliffe team, that was very smart with Alyssa being in the front there and just deciding, no, hey, let's just get ourselves through the final. Let's go safe. And they've done that. They've still come through first. But that team that we saw on the other side, it might have been Alexander Headlands, it looks like they've actually turned themselves around and may also get through.
But only top 8 through and quite a few on the wave, so it could get a little bit messy, and the girls just making their way through. Northcliffe are through. Newport after that tussle out at the Cairns. Trigg Island looked to be safe as well. North Bondi in the mix as well. So jump onto live heats, and that is where, as soon as the results pop up, you will see them, we will see them. Courtney, I love that we are all getting the information nice and quickly, because that is what we want to be bringing through. And I really hope that Jan Jack still made it through. We've got Dickey Beach in the mix, but what a battle we had out the back there. That was pretty exciting, and again, representative of what ski paddling is like out at the Cairns. It is tough.
It is so tough, and you would absolutely love to have a GoPro out there. We used to actually have GoPros out there, and you could hear and see everything going on, and it was a lot happening. And As you can see, the officials bringing all the girls now in there, but we're so lucky to have Christy Munro on the beach getting all the action for us.
Thanks, Courts. I just thought I'd grab the Alex crew, Sophie and Mia. You were very, very comfortably qualifying and had a little bit of difficulty on that wave. How's the heart rate knowing you had to recover and still paddle through?
Yeah, went through the roof pretty quickly, but yeah, the conditions are still a little bit tricky, not as big as yesterday, but I guess we're just happy we had a really good paddle and a little bit unlucky coming in, but yeah.
What lessons will you take from that semi going into the final?
For me, I think we just have to have confidence knowing that we can do it. This is actually our first paddle together, so for that in ourselves, we're pretty proud, but we comfortably made it and we're excited for the final.
I saw you were up there in the final of the mixed double as well, so your ski paddling going fantastic this season.
Yeah, I love ski paddling. It's since I started in under 17s, it's easily my favourite event, and the mixed double, to be amongst it in the finals was amazing. It really pushed my ski paddling.
I love the confidence is on a high. You've got yourself a spot in the final. You can take those early lessons, dust off those nerves. Second time paddling together, come the final. What can we expect?
Yeah, hopefully another good start like that before, but yeah, I think we'll just try our hardest and whatever comes will come.
Love that attitude. Good luck. All the best.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Oh, and weren't they happy little campers there? And as the girls were saying, as Christy asked them, their heart rate just went up to that another level, and now they've got to bring it back down and get ready for that final, which they will be joining some amazing teams there. And as we go, Jen, just to that final, we'll see Olivia Clues and Pippi DePena just being smart there, and they know how to be smart out in the surf. They're very, very experienced, even though they're only 17, 18 years old there. But as we see that crew from Alexandra Headlands just going sideways there, and a lot happening, a lot of carnage. But under 19 girls, they just handle this so well. They're only very, very young, and there we see Olivia Clues and Pippi DePena still on screen there, making it look so easy. And for that final, they will join that semi number 2. They will join Manly A, and they Northcliffe Team A as well. Avoca Beach, Terrigal, Burleigh. Oh, here we go. We're just getting the full list coming through now with Alexandra Headlands, Northcliffe, Manly, North Bondi, Southport, Clifton Beach. They did incredible coming through there from Tasmania. Avoca, Trig Island, Terrigal B as well. They're on fire, those girls. Newport, Jan Juck, Dickey Beach, Burleigh, Newport, Southport, and Clifton Beach. Hey, so we've got 2 Clifton Beach teams going in there. So it's all very exciting, and we won't be too far away from that final coming up very soon. And Jen, it's all happening, isn't it?
I know. And you had to give me a little tap to say we're back on, and
Yeah.
that is because I was looking up how to pronounce a few names, because we always want to give all of our athletes the best possible recognition on here. And for Clifton Beach, great to see them get through. That was Natalie Eichler and Oni Schofield from Clifton Beach. We actually spoke to a few of the